Thank you. Well, welcome everyone to the City of Woodland Park City Council meeting, July 18th, 2026. Time is now 6 p.m. Monica,
Yep.
can you do a roll call?
Mayor Jones,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Nakai,
Here.
Councilmember Bryant,
Here.
Councilmember Gear,
Here.
Councilmember Smith,
Yep.
Councilmember DeZellem,
Here.
all six present. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you everyone for showing up. There are a ton of you here. We're a little nervous about that. I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay, next item 3, ceremonies, presentations, and appointments. Letter of recognition for Jim and Cindy Rumsey. Monica, can I turn this over to you first, or you want to bring them up?
Yes. Jim and Cindy, could you come up here, please?
I don't want to make you stand too long, but this letter is
It's kind of long.
it's a little long, but it's good. It's very good. All right, I'm going to read. Yeah, well, I know I'm sad. I'm going to read a letter of recognition. Actually, take the glasses off. Dear Jim and I'm getting a lot of echo. Dear Jim and Cindy Rumsey, on behalf of the City of Woodland Park, it is my distinct honor and privilege to recognize both of you for your many years of dedicated service, leadership, and commitment to our community. Jim and Cindy, your passion for pickleball has enriched the lives of countless residents through your years of organizing, promoting, teaching, and encouraging participation in the sport. You have helped foster a welcoming environment that brings people of all ages together. Your efforts have strengthened friendships, promoted healthy lifestyles, and built a vibrant pickleball community that continues to thrive in Woodland Park. Your generosity with your time and talents has made a lasting impact on our city. Jim, I would also like to extend special recognition for your many years of service as an election judge. Your dedication to ensuring fair, accurate, and trustworthy elections reflects your deep professionalism, your deep commitment to civic responsibility and the democratic process. The integrity and professionalism you have demonstrated over the years have helped uphold the confidence of our community in its elections. And for that, we are sincerely grateful. On behalf of the community, we extend our sincere appreciation to Jim for his dedicated service on the Woodland Park Board of Adjustment. Throughout his tenure, Jim has demonstrated integrity, sound judgment, and a steadfast commitment to ensuring fair and thoughtful decisions that serve the best interests of the residents of Woodland Park. His willingness to devote his time, expertise, and careful consideration to complex matters has made a meaningful and lasting contribution to our community. We are grateful for this public service and extend our best wishes and continued success in all future endeavors. Volunteers and community leaders like Jim and Cindy exemplify the very best of Woodland Park. Your willingness to serve, your positive spirit, and your unwavering commitment to others have made our city a better place to live, work, and play. On behalf of the City Council, city staff, the citizens of Woodland Park, please accept our heartfelt appreciation and sincere congratulations. Your contributions have left a lasting legacy, and your example of service inspires others to become involved in making our community stronger. Thank you, Jim and Cindy, for your dedication, your friendship, and your many years of faithful service to the City of Woodland Park. We wish you both continued happiness and good health. With gratitude and best wishes. Well, let me come down. Oh, great. That kind of solves the problem, I think.
Thank you, Cindy. I'm gonna miss you on UAC.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay. Groovy. All right. Let's move on to item 3B. We're gonna have hopefully, Andrew, are you here? Andrew Hartman. Okay, I guess not. We're gonna move on then. Item 3C, Gail Gross Peak Art Adventure. I know that, yes, thank you, that Gail wasn't able to be here tonight, so in her place is Diana. Thank you. Please come up to the podium. If you don't mind, introduce yourself, and then let's talk about Peak Art Adventures.
Thank you. Gail asked me to stand in for her because she couldn't be here tonight. And our Peak Art Adventure, 4th annual, starts on the 22nd. This event Gail came up with several years ago as a part of her Destination Art programs. And it's geared to not only bring artists into the area, but also to bring patrons for the art into the area. We do this through 4 different venues, basically. Beginning on July 22nd, we start the plein air event. The plein air event is where artists go out and paint outside our beautiful area. It's geared to be painted within 10 miles of Woodland Park. Woodland Park is the center of our universe. And we have 2 phases of that. We have a competition for the artists that want to compete for prizes. We have $12,000 worth of prizes from national advertisers who support the arts. We also have a non-compete program that goes in with that. And the artists basically paint from the 22nd through the 31st. And we have a group locally, the Pikes Peak Plein Air Painters, that provide scheduled destination paintouts so that anybody who's here who's not local has a place to come in, participate, be a part of the group. And in the afternoon, we have an event called Art Talks. And the Art Talks part of the program is geared to help artists on their journey to be small businesses. We come up on August 1st, and part of the artists that participate will be in a quick draw program at the Vino and Notes Festival in the park on Saturday. And then on Sunday, the artists that participate in the compete portion will turn in paintings. We are utilizing the golf course this year for our venue. We will set up an exhibition of that art. And we have a judge who will come in and jury for those $12,000 worth of prize. We invite the council to join us for that event. It will start at about 5:30 in the evening. Should be over by 7:30. It'll be a fast draw, but there are food and refreshments. The artists will be there. We ask the community to join us if you like. If any of you are interested in looking at art to purchase art, you can get a hold of Gail. We have a VIP event that supports that portion of the program. Then the next part of the program is the art show. Gail runs an art show that is jurred in again. It starts on August 5th and will run through August 25th. And it focuses again on what we have to offer in Teller County. So we ask you to stop by the gallery during that time, take a look at what we have, take a look at the artists. The other part is the quick draw. And so we do have artists that will participate in that on Sunday during the Vino and Notes program. You'll be able to watch them. You're invited at any time if you see artists, whether it's 1 or 50, outside with easels and paints. Even if they look busy, feel free to stop and join them. They invite you to ask questions. We welcome you into the community. We hope that you will enjoy the cultural part of this event. And we look forward in the future to perhaps Woodland Park becoming a bigger part of the program.
Excellent.
Does anybody have any questions?
I do. I have one, and then a comment. question, so when they're outside doing the outdoor painting, are they going to be in specific locations or they
They
just
will be.
random?
They
Okay.
will be.
Okay.
We actually will have a schedule. You can stop by the gallery and pick that up
Okay.
next week. They will be painting typically from 9 in the morning till 11:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And then the art talks happen from 1 to 2:30 at different venues. You can stop into those and hear what has to be said for that as well.
Perfect. Yeah, that's going to be very exciting. A nice couple of, I think it's 12 days of,
It's a
In the
lot.
first section,
Yeah, we've
yeah.
got almost a month worth of activities.
right.
And for the advertising portion of this, we advertise locally because we do draw a lot of painters. We have a lot of artists in Teller County and in the Pikes Peak region. But we also advertise this nationally because plein air painting in the United States is a big thing. There are over 250 plein air events that happen nationwide a year. And it's advertised through a company called Streamline, who produces a magazine specifically for plein air. It's called the Plein Air Painters Magazine. All right. And so we advertise in their ultimate guide. It tells people all of the events, where they are, what kind of prizes they have. If we have resources, you know, the thing that this can bring in are artists who need places to stay. My artists almost always will eat dinner out, lunch out, because they will be in all day for the activities during the plein air event. And so not only does Gale bring some benefit to the gallery to keep the gallery functional, but it also brings in people in the community who spend a few bucks here and a few bucks there. And so we ask you to support us however you can. And we look forward to seeing you at our events.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you, Diane.
One
Oh,
quick question.
yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Oh,
George.
please.
I've heard you mention the gallery a few times. Just for clarification, that's Reserve Our Gallery.
Reserve Our Gallery is the sponsor of this.
Okay.
Park State Bank is our primary cash sponsor who helps keep this afloat. The artists pay a fee to enter these things, but that does not pay for the cost of this event. And so we're always looking for help in those areas. The cash prizes are all donated. So that helps with that. But we feel like we're providing a cultural benefit to Woodland Park. We have a strong art community in Teller County, and we appreciate Woodland Park. It's a perfect place to be.
Oh, awesome. Great way to end that. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, item 3D, city council interviews and appointment for our vacant city council seat.
Yes, Mayor, so we received 5 applications for the vacant city council seat. And we will go ahead and interview them in the order they were received. However, Ryan Skajewski was the first interviewee and he is on via Zoom and can't interview via Zoom, and I let him know that. So the next applicant would be Stephen Lay.
Okay, and I think by way of process, has everybody else left?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Who they
Okay,
are.
Rob's still got to
Rob-
take people. Okay. So I think what we're going to ask is for the other applicants. So there should be
Yeah, there's Jeff.
3 other.
Stephen White and Arnie Sparnis.
Yeah, if you all would follow Rob and he'll take you, you're going to be sequestered basically. Yeah. And then, so what we're going to do, this is our typical process for interviewing, especially council seats. We don't necessarily do this for appointments to boards, but we're going to interview each candidate separately, generally with the same questions from the council. And then we'll bring everybody back in and we'll conduct a ballot vote that Monica will read into the record. Good? Okay. Mr. Lay.
Great, thank you. My name is Stephen Lay. I have been a Woodland Park resident since 2001. I was away for a few years, but it's been a great place for us. My wife and I moved here with our 4 boys. They all went through the school system, and we attended a local church for a good while of that time. I commuted to the Springs for a while and then have been working remotely since then. It's a great place to be. I love Woodland Park. It's just the right kind of town for me, and it's been a great place to raise the boys.
Thank you. Council questions for Steve?
Do we want to go kind of down the road?
Yeah,
back,
do,
or-
sorry. Yeah, we'll start with Catherine and go down the row and then we'll come back up this way. Oh, and please remind me, Jeff, that you're on.
I'm here.
Yeah, I wish, yeah, that would be better. There you go. Because we didn't have you on on screen. Okay.
So are we, are we gonna just do one round of questions each, or are we gonna do?
Yeah, let's do one. And then if we want to go back and forth, we can volley like that, you know, if you have more than one.
Okay. Hey, Steve.
Hi.
Hi. So what do you believe is the primary role of city council?
Well, it is really the expression of home rule, right? It's the charter is the way that home rule works, and the council along with the city manager basically execute what the city wants, and they can operate. The city council allows a town, a city to operate with its own statutes, with its own ordinances, as long as it's consistent with the state of Colorado's constitution.
I guess mine's a two-parter. Have you read the city charter? And if so, what avenues are available within the confines of the city charter to support businesses in Woodland Park?
I have read the city charter. You're going a little deep there maybe, but the way that I see it is that the city council really creates the framework for cities to operate with, or for businesses to operate within the city, and creates a level playing field. It doesn't favor any one over the other, but creates a level playing field for everyone to thrive and have basically clear rules in order to operate.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Mr. Gear, I'll go to you, Councilmember Gear.
All right. First of all, thank you for applying. Appreciate you being willing to step up and serve. My question is, what, if any, decisions that you've seen council make in the past few years that you either disagreed with or wish we would have done differently?
You're narrowing me to what I've disagreed with, right?
Yeah, or done differently. So if there's something that
Yeah.
you agree that we did, but you would have approached it maybe a slightly different way, that's great as well.
I've actually thought about this question a lot. The only thing that really comes to mind is the vacation rental.
Mhm.
And I wonder if I would have thrown it to the voters, or if I would have advocated to actually make a decision. And so that to me is probably the biggest question that I have, is how does the council determine what they're going to take on as a decision, and what are they going to put to referendum? And I know some of that is statutory, but there's some leeway there by the council to make those decisions. I think those are particularly difficult. And I can't say that I would have done it differently, but I've thought a lot about that and how I might have fallen on that question.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Councilmember Smith.
Sure.
Microphone.
Thank you.
Yep.
As a council member, how important do you think it is for a council member to actually interact with the community that it represents?
I mean, that feels like a leading question because you actually modeled that for me when we first moved back here in 2024, where I saw you having a meeting with the school board president, and it really moved me because for me, that's exactly the model. You exemplified exactly the model that should happen, which is people who disagree about a particular topic. You took the time, you made the effort to meet with that person and to go through what I assume at that time was a difficult conversation. And again, I can't think of a better, that to me is sort of the job. It's to have conversations with people who maybe I don't entirely agree with, but that I approach with the notion that they should change my mind, maybe. And so I appreciate the question.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Councilmember DeZellem.
Okay, my question is probably gonna be a two-parter too. First of all, how many city council meetings have you attended or watched in the last year? And how did that shape your decision to apply for the office?
Probably 10. I mean, I definitely saw a lot of what the city council maybe goes through. And I don't mean that necessarily in a negative way, but some of it was pretty conflictual during that time. And I think probably the biggest takeaway for me is I love the civicness of it, right? Like this is the place where we decide what the common good looks like. And the council is trying to figure out how to shape a common good. And the 3 minutes where anybody can stand up and talk and you all listen is to me this kind of heart of what it means to be a community, to be so that I wasn't really aware before I started attending meetings how all of that works. And so, yeah, so that moved me. And then I think the hope is that we create that this village makes decisions today that last far into the future, multiple generations. And when you drive around town, you see the benefits. Memorial Park is this great place where we all meet. Well, somebody decided to set aside that space and to renovate that space and to spend money on that space. And you see that all over, whether it's a house, whether it's a business. These are things that last. And my hope would be that in 100 years, people would look back on this time and say, wow, they made some really great decisions. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Thank you. And Steve, I have a question for you. Looking across, and I appreciate what you just said, looking across and looking out, looking forward, let's put it that way. What are the top priorities for you and for the city of Woodland Park?
Yeah, my dream is really that we can circle the wagons around what is the common good. Like, how do we find we live in these really contentious times where there's a lot of disagreement and a lot of stoking that disagreement in the media and social media and so on. And I really dream that that the city council and that we sort of skip by all that and we decide what is it that we share together. And that's a real passion. So that's one thing. The other is I would love it, or I do love it when people come here and it's their special place because it feels like a special place for me. And so when people come up and they choose to have dinner at the Tava House or at the Red Diamond or at the Smoke or Roy's or wherever it is, that's great for me. I love to see the campers going through town on their way to somewhere and stopping on the way back. And that's great. I love to create spaces for people to recreate and be here. And then I think the long-term view, the long-term hope for the city.
Great. Thank you. Any further questions? No. Okay,
Great.
thank you, Steve.
Am I sequestered?
Yeah, go around there, Rob. I just saw Rob, but go around there, go around, wander around the hallway.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve. Next. Yeah. Does Rob know that? Okay, okay. It's like a long, slow walk. Mr. Hicks.
Hello.
Hello, thank you. Why don't you give us your first, last name, and maybe tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Jeff Hicks. I've lived in Woodland Park for 3.5 years now with my girlfriend, Nicole. Hobbies include hiking. I have a year-old bird dog, so he keeps me plenty busy outside. Absolutely love it in Woodland Park. And for work, I do cybersecurity for a small medical device manufacturer.
Oh, okay. Great. Thank you. Catherine,
Hello,
you have
thanks,
some questions.
thanks for applying. So what do you believe is the primary role of city council?
I believe it is to take the wish of the people and then go ahead and just govern there. If you have people coming in asking what it is, if they have objections, changes they'd like to see in the city, and just making it a good place for everyone to live.
Councilmember Bryant.
Welcome, Jeff, and thank you, along with everybody else, for applying for appointment. It's I know it takes a lot of conviction to do that. So again, thanks for being here. My question for you is a two-parter. The first is, have you had a chance to read the city charter? And if so, what avenues are available within the confines of the city charter to support business in Woodland Park?
I have not read the charter yet. I did not see that.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Gear.
All right. So hello, Jeff. How are you this evening?
Not bad. And yourself?
I can't complain. So all right, I'll jump into my question. What, if any, decisions have you seen council make in the past few years that you'd either change or perhaps do differently?
I've been overall happy with the changes being made. I especially like the short-term rental change that was recently implemented that people voted for. But otherwise, I do agree with where the city council is going. And that is one of the reasons I wanted to join, is because I like where it's at. And I think I can be a good part of that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Councilmember Smith.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for applying.
Is your mic on?
No, it's not.
It's on now.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Taser.
Question for you is, as a council member, as a council member, having a brain issue here.
Nope, it's all right.
How important is it for you as a council member to interact with the community?
I think it's very important, and that's one of the reasons I want to be on city council. Starting off here, like I said, I've been here 3.5 years, and this is the first home I've gotten. So that is why I want to join city council, to be more part of a community that I am going to be living in long term. So I think it's very important that you go out into the community, whether it be for volunteer work or to be on city council, to be able to talk to the citizens, see their concerns, what they're happy with, and what we could be doing better.
Thank you. Councilmember DeZellem.
There, it's on.
Mhm.
Hi, Jeff. My question is a two-parter. The first part of it is, how many city council meetings have you watched or attended in the last year? And the second part of that is, how did watching those or being here influence you in deciding to apply?
So I have just started watching them online. I have watched 3 before coming here today. So it influenced me to apply just because I saw there was an opening. And like I said, I think it's very important to be a part of the community you're living in. So just seeing that there was the need and then seeing the different changes they have now, like for the data centers and other big issues we have coming up, that is what made me want to apply.
All right, thank you.
Excellent. Jeff, I'll echo the sentiment from everybody. Thank you for applying. Similar to not similar to Don's, but in line with that, looking forward, what are your 3 big priorities for the city?
So the biggest priorities, I'd say housing affordability is going to be a big thing for people who want to move up here and live here. There's not a lot of housing and affordability is horrible right now. Water management, just because that's a big issue, especially with the winter we've just had. And then I would say, what was the third one I had? Just ensuring that the wishes of the people are met.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, I think Jeff, any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hicks. We
Right.
appreciate it. And yeah, if you can work your way back to that room
All
that
right,
you were
thank
in.
you so much.
Thank you. Yep. Mr. White.
Hello.
Hi.
Pleased to meet you all.
Yeah, thank you. And if you would, just tell us your full name and we'll give you a little bit of time just to introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
Okay, wonderful. My name's Stephen White. I am 44 years of age. Depending on which study you read, that means I am either slightly above or just at the median age for this town, which maybe that goes before or against me. I don't know. I have been a Woodland Park resident now for nearly 5.5 years. My wife and I moved here from the East Coast. She's originally from New Jersey. I'm originally from Philadelphia. Before anyone asks, I'm not an Eagles fan.
Are you a Broncos fan? No, I'm just kidding. Don't answer that.
Trying not to step in it tonight, Mr.
Yeah.
Mayor. But yes, so by trade, I am a corporate attorney. I have been in practice for 20 years. Particularly, I have a lot of experience with working with documents, resolutions, minutes, red lines, all types of things that are on the agenda today, which is kind of what drew me to this when I really started thinking about it. So I saw an opportunity and I really felt like seizing it for a change and, using my powers for good for a change.
Versus.
Well, that's a tough one. How long do you have?
All right.
I'm a lawyer and all the good and bad things that come with that.
We love lawyers. So what we're gonna do now is each of the council members are gonna have an opportunity to ask a question of you. So I'll start with Councilmember Nakai.
Hello, thanks for applying.
I'm sorry, Mayor Pro Tem Nakai.
Thank you for accepting my application.
So my question is, what do you believe is the primary role of city council?
I've heard something about city councils generally, which I think kind of rings true with me, which is that it's not your job to solve arguments or resolve arguments, but to make decisions. And I think ultimately a city council just has to do what it thinks is the best for its constituents to make decisions that do the greatest good for the greatest number of people. Now, it's difficult to say what that is in any given circumstance. And, obviously personal opinion comes into that decision. But I think particularly for this vacancy, which is an appointed vacancy, it's something where the person appointed to it should try to be as objective as possible because they weren't elected on a specific platform. They weren't particularly chosen by any constituents. So I think this particular, I've stated what a council should do broadly. I think what this council member should do is basically be a workhorse, listen, and learn. I think some of the most powerful words in the English language are "I don't know," and people don't use them enough. There's a lot of things I don't know, but I can promise you that if I was appointed, no one's going to read everything that comes in front of them harder than I will. So
You're talking to the queen of
I
the.
can promise I'll try.
You have some big shoes to fill in that one. All right. Good. Yeah. Council members. Right.
Again, along with everyone else here, thank you for applying. As someone who came to this seat initially through appointment, I know it's putting yourself out there and it takes a lot of conviction. So my question for you is a two-parter. The first is, have you had an opportunity to read the city charter? And the second is, if so, what avenues are available within the confines of the city charter to support businesses in Woodland Park?
Well, that's a very good question. Have I had the opportunity? Yes, I have had the opportunity to read the city charter. To be frank, I haven't had the opportunity to really dig into it chapter and verse. It's one of those things I really couldn't tell you what it says beginning to end right now. It comes up in issues. Occasionally you look at it, something comes up. Frankly, no. What avenues are there? I'd have to familiarize myself with that. I'd have to learn that. And again, I don't know. Very beautiful words. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have read it. But ultimately, jurisdictional issues are something that kind of constrains and defines what any city council can do. For example, fire danger, huge problem here. There's only so much we can do when we're surrounded by Forest Service land, right? So I can't come in here and tell you, hey, I think our biggest problem is fire and I'm going to fix it. That's just not possible. So I do understand that we are confined statutorily and by a city code.
Okay, thank you very much. And by the way, I cannot quote verse in city charter. I appreciate that.
Councilmember Gear.
I'm disappointed, Seth. Catherine can. So, well, first of all, thank you for applying. My question is, what, if any, decisions have we made in the past few years that you'd either change or perhaps do differently?
The first one that comes to mind, and it has to do around the Avenger open space, which is my favorite place in town by far. I live not too far from it. I run on it every day. If you have seen me around town, it is probably there or running somewhere else. I love it. And I think it's fantastic that it's an open space. When those for sale signs went up the first time, I did not know what I was going to do every morning before I started work. A day without going up Bald Mountain just kills me. Ask my wife, it's true. I think she'd rather I didn't. So there was a structure to the acquisition where I believe it started by way of petition, I think. And I believe that petition ultimately came in front of the city council. And I do not know specifically how it worked out procedurally. But the end result was, what happened was there were folks that had pledged donations to the open space. And I was among them. And there were also simultaneously in connection with this process, an agreement of sale signed, which I think the procedure around that actually sort of confused a lot of people because they had pledged money, an agreement of sale was signed, and I guess the pledges hadn't been called in yet. Now, net positive all around. This worked out great for everybody, right? Everybody loves the open space. Everything has resolved itself. But I know a fair share of people that were somewhat confused by the way that worked out. They were confused as to why pledges were necessary when the city had signed an agreement of sale. They were curious as to why they could make their checks out to the Palmer Land Conservancy or the city of Woodland Park government. So were the answers out there? If you dug deep enough, yes, but a lot of people were confused and thus, again, net positive result in the end, did not pledge. And these are the types of things where I think a good council member, or a good council more appropriately, can really improve these things. No one can do anything perfect, and it's not easy to do this job. I have no misconceptions about that. I would be totally remiss if I could come up to you right now and say I understood the difficulty, but striving for transparency when there is manifest complexity is is something you should do. And that will be something that I would change or would have changed or just perhaps done differently. Because again, the result was great. Everyone was thrilled with what the city got. It was just a process that probably could have gotten more dollars in.
No, I appreciate, I actually really appreciate that answer. I looking back on it now, I get exactly where you're coming from. One of the things that is difficult is keeping everyone informed without there's a balance between keeping everyone informed without letting the people that are informed get spammed with information that they already have. But I do sincerely appreciate that feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gear.
Okay. Councilmember Smith. Yeah, okay.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for applying here.
Pleasure to meet you. Great name.
Yeah. Question is, as a council member, would it be important for you to interact with the community?
I hope so. I come from a very large city where I knew none of my neighbors. I have moved to a much smaller city where I probably within a week of living here, I knew I had more neighbors than I ever knew I could possibly conceivably have. That is why I'm here. You need to understand what the community is saying. You need to have your ear to the ground, and you need to at least be present. You need to at least be aware. You need to have open ears. Interacting with the community is the only way you get that done. I, quite frankly, would view this as a wonderful opportunity to interact with the community more. One of the things I note when interacting within my own circle in the community is that a lot of people just don't know what's going on. And when you interact with the community as a member of government, you can tell them. You can tell them authoritatively or as authoritatively as your position warrants. When people learned that I was applying for council, their first response more often than not was, I didn't know you could do that, And I'd like to make it so that when this term runs out, there is someone like me or someone at least similar in age, just someone similar, age, height, weight, doesn't matter, that knows about this and feels engaged to participate, because there's a large section of wonderful people in this town that just don't know, or they don't see the way in.
Yeah.
That was a little roundabout. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Good. Thank you. Councilmember DeZon.
Hi, Steve. My question is a two-parter. First one is, in the last year, how many city council meetings have you been to or watched? And how did that help shape your decision to run or apply?
So watched is the answer there. I am a longtime viewer, first-time attendee. This is actually my first physical attendance. I kind of just watched them, to be honest with you. I put them on while I'm working. They stream on my computer, my personal computer, next to my Facebook computer. And they stream on Facebook next to my work computer while I'm working. And how did they influence me to be where I am now? That's a good question, and one I may need to noodle on for a second. But I think the answer there is, if you see a lot of the chatter, if you see a lot of people talking about, anything political in this town, you see a lot of negativity sometimes online. There's always someone from either side of the fence or either side of any issue that's quick to jump in and jump down someone's throat, or say that, someone's in league with someone else, or that they're protecting a special interest or something to that effect. When you watch the meetings, that does not come through. And this looks like a productive council, at least to me. Maybe it's because I come from Philadelphia. But it looks like a council that can get things done. And it looks like a council that has gotten things done. And if you choose to be informed, you get all the information you need. And I'm sorry, I don't feel that was as direct as it could have been. I hope it got you what you needed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Steve, looking forward, what are your big three priorities for the city of Woodland Park?
Well, as I said previously, this is an appointed position. So I think number one, as an appointee, and other appointees may disagree, this is how I would view the role, though. It will be my job to make sure that first I brought myself up to speed and was making sure I was doing everything I could to make sure that we were putting out messages to the community that were as clear and as transparent as possible, whether that is in the form of resolutions, getting out there and speaking to people, putting posts online, whatever it is we're doing, I would dedicate myself to making that as clear and transparent as possible. And that would be my personal priority, I feel. Beyond that, what I'd like to make sure is that this place continues to grow and continues to stay prosperous. I've been here a long time, not a long time, I haven't been here a long time. And in that time, I've probably seen just as many businesses, if not more, close than open. Now, some of that's just the way the times are right now. And in that time, that also includes COVID. So maybe the numbers are a little bit stilted and maybe perception doesn't match reality. But we have a difficult task. So you have to balance preserving this community, which we've attempted to do through STR ordinances and the like, and which have worked. But we also need to make sure that we're promoting growth. And I'm not saying we haven't, but that is the priority. The priority is to continue to do what I perceive what we are already doing in that regard. With respect to that, respect to the third priority, I would say it's continuing to ensure that this is a great place to do things, that there are still things to do. That is a huge part of what makes this community fantastic, is there is no shortage of ways to get yourself engaged, whether it's, volunteering with the city itself or actually just going out to events. The Christmas parade was one of the first things I experienced here, and it knocked my socks off. I've been to every one except one where I went back to Philly for it. It's the city it shows up big for the little events, and that really makes this place fantastic. It's like I said, it's there's things to do. If you were to ask anybody I work with, most of them are on the East Coast. If they think I live in the middle of nowhere, and I think the joke's on them, to be honest with you, because I've got a more active social life than they do.
Excellent. Okay, thank you very much. And I think that concludes our questions for you. Rob back there will escort you back to the room. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Arnie's the last one? Yep, okay. Welcome, Arnie. Tell us your full name and give us a little introduction about yourself.
Okay, my name's Arnold Sparnans. I've lived in Woodland Park, lived here for the past 23 years. And well, first of all, I just want to say, thank the mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members for the honor of being able to, be in front of you for this opportunity and to go through that. It's something, that obviously an area of passion for me, having lived in the city for so long and having seen a lot of different councils and a lot of different opportunities the city's faced and how they've addressed them. And I'm excited about the opportunity that I could be, rather than on the sidelines, be part of that, part of that process. And so I'd like to, think that the background I bring in terms of, I retired probably about 10 years ago from the semiconductor industry. And that time since then, I've been heavily focused on nonprofit work, which has consumed me pretty much full time. And now I've finally had a transition point, as of like 2 months ago, that we've been able to culminate the nonprofit that we're working with, get them for long-term sustainability, be taken over by one of the most established nonprofits in the whole Pikes Peak region. So now, after all these people have tried to coerce me over the years of saying, rather than just trying to speak up on issues or research issues or do some behind the scenes type of things, it's an opportunity. Why don't you do city council? I've always had to say no, but I really welcome just the perfect timing on this. And I like to think, because of what I've done historically, both professionally with work, what I've done with nonprofit leadership, and what I've done with the city for just different issues that we've worked with, different things to research, different ways to, selectively get involved when there's something that just kind of says that this needs a little more input, a little more sanity in the process. And I'm really excited when I look at what's happened here in the last couple of years, and I look at the strength of the council here, and to see that the city is so well positioned, in terms of finances right now, to move forward on a solid footing, so well positioned based on recent acquisitions and open space in terms of really saying, how do we, now that we've had these once in a generation opportunities, how do we really make them still here and viable for the next generation? And so that all faces the city, and I'd like to contribute into that process and bring about not any preconceived notions of what needs to happen or how it needs to happen, but really focus on the process of how things happen, and basically saying, how do we involve citizens regularly in the process? How do we, when we look at the decisions that we face, how do we ask the right questions at the right time? How do we challenge assumptions that may be there? How do we, and then make sure that we respect the input that we get, from citizen input. And so that's what I'd like to bring, to the council in working that decision-making process, working, not on set outcomes, but working on making sure we do things properly and do things with due diligence out there.
Excellent. Thank you. We're going to go through a series of questions now. I'll start with Mayor Pro Tem Catherine Nakai.
Great.
Hey, Arnie, thanks again for applying. So what do you believe is the primary role of city council?
Well, the primary role, clearly is, basically, you start off with saying, how do you uphold our ordinances and charter? And so you look at, where do you make changes and where do you, but you oversee the city, or, you technically, you're responsible for hiring the city manager, and which is the, and then they, subsequently do the rest of things there. City council has to set the direction. I think in the relationship that city council has, and working with planning commission, working with the planning department, they should bring in the vision and the guidance of saying, where do we want some of this to go? And so I think what city council does in terms of its involvement in master planning processes, then the more recent innovation of what they've been doing, rather than saying there has to be one big master plan, you start doing master plans for very strategic projects and efforts. And so, like you'll be doing coming up with the golf course and pieces like that. City council, needs to always be fair, listen, and look at all perspectives way out there. But you need to uphold, go back to your oath of office. You need to uphold our ordinances. And if our ordinances don't fit our changing environment, then maybe look at what needs to change. But primarily, we need to uphold the ordinances, especially in the decision-making process. Yeah.
Councilman Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to see you again, Arnie. Thanks for applying. I've got a two-parter for you.
Okay.
The first is, have you had a chance to read the city charter? And if so, what avenues are available within the confines of the city charter to support businesses in Woodland Park?
Well, we're clearly limited and we can't provide direct financial incentives, but there's a lot that can be done in terms of how do you relax certain requirements, both in terms of fees perhaps, as well as in other things. Businesses, I think, strive best when looked at, if you got a city that's attractive and running well, it creates the environment that naturally attracts both people to visit, people to live here, and people to invest in here. And so I've seen some bad mistakes in not valuing businesses in the city where we've had fairly large employers that, very high paying jobs have walked out and left. I mean, so we need to think of businesses as not just, I think so much of the focus has been around talking businesses and tourists and realize that businesses, look at us as consumers living in the city, the businesses that we see the most are, take today, doctors, grocery stores, pharmacies, car repair places. It's a very broad term when we talk businesses, and I think we look at it that way. If you look at our Woodland Park Chamber of Commerce for a community this size, it's the most diverse chamber of commerce in terms of number of businesses that are members of it and the range of businesses that participate that I'm aware of anywhere. And so I don't think we're lacking in terms of, having our hands tied because we can't do direct cash incentives or things like that, subsidies, to attract businesses. And that's where the charter, kind of draws the line on there. Otherwise, I mean, the charter has a whole bunch of other things too, but also the charter enables people to do things by initiative, and it enables a lot of other things that, that you could consider out there.
Thank you very much, Arnie.
Good. Councilmember Gear.
Hello, Arnie. How are you this evening?
Very good.
Awesome. Well, I'll just jump in.
I can see you there. I'll back up and look at the monitor here.
I appreciate you as always. So, okay. What, if any, decisions have we made in the past few years that you'd either change or perhaps do differently?
Yeah, I mean, there's, in hindsight, for any decision, I look at decisions and say, have you fully understood, the law that was in place in terms of the ordinances, and was the decision made consistent with that and the intent? And so sometimes, and probably some decisions you don't even think of that were flawed, that would be the ones that, some examples that I'd come up with, because, if we misinterpret what we think a zoning district is used for and what it's currently being used for, I think some of the city's discussions going back to natural healing centers, had a gap because city council and a lot of people were quite frankly surprised that central business district was used for so many other uses, whereas most of our counseling and consulting offices, are, look at the Woodland Professional Building, look at where the, are in that area. And so I think there was incomplete information that led to some of the conditions in that decision out there. That's one area. And I think in all areas, I think you always need to research, research what currently exists out there and what's allowed. In the area of decisions that have gone wrong or something, that's, people give you a gift when they give input. Yeah, and people give a gift for good decision making, especially when we have large public engagement processes. And I think they're just, if we look at any decisions where we haven't made decisions or passed ordinances that have been consistent with very clear guidance from what the public input has been, through a very systematic, controlled process. And then, those are ones, but I think you just, collect, but it wasn't, it's not the city council in that case. I think the city council, as it's currently stands, has been very, very open in terms of what they do for taking in input and not having preconceived ideas of where they want things to go, if it's contrary to, to there. So
I was really hoping you were going to tell us we're perfect, Arnie.
Well, I'm saying you're perfect. The one thing I brought up about natural healing centers was, there's because when you're the most perfect, there's always some minor little flaw out there. And I just think just the shock in terms of the number of doctors' offices, counseling offices that exist in CBD, was, it's
Fair
like
enough.
drive around sometimes. Okay.
Hey, thank you, Arnie.
Councilmember Smith.
Welcome, Arnie. Thanks for applying. Question for you is, as a council member, would it be important for you to interact with the community members of our community?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, and you do it in multiple different ways. I mean, most of my interactions tend to be, you go to the park, you walk around the neighborhood. That's the easiest way to get good, honest conversations out there. There's obviously many good places you can visit, for a beverage or for a meal and interact with the community. Just seeking every opportunity, going to public events, going to, the list goes on. It's critical. I mean, because you don't get a pulse if you don't get out there and talk to people.
Like the grocery store?
The grocery store works too. I mean, especially, because there's always somebody taking longer than they need to because the prices aren't quite right at the machine. But yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Righty.
But that's all sales tax revenue unique to us that, we get with that grocery tax. So yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah.
Councilmember DeZellem.
Hi, Arnie.
Oh,
My question
Okay.
is a two-parter.
okay.
I probably already know part of the answer to begin with, but in the last year, how many city council meetings have you attended or watched? And the second part of that is, how did watching those or being at them influence your decision to apply?
Okay. Yeah. So, one going back to, just on timing is, I consciously did not choose to run in the election because I was still, it wasn't public yet what we were doing with the merger. And I was still round the clock busy dealing with lawyers on intellectual property issues and things like that ad nauseum for a long time, and did not know when, where, and how, that would actually reach a good conclusion. So I did still go to city council meetings in that time frame. I did watch when I don't go there in person. I do watch on TV. I do read the packets before the meetings. I do, because in the packets lay the nuggets of saying, are there little time bombs in there that you need to be aware of something, or something does, seems amiss, or something, or some detail out there. City does a great job in putting together a complete packet. And I think, it behooves us all to make sure we study them thoroughly. And my commitment on the council is to, not only study it and then study it a little more. That's what I love to do, is because I, keep learning. Yeah.
Thank you. Last question. Arnie.
Yeah.
Looking forward now, what would be your top three priorities?
Well, the big three are, and you look at our situation out west. I mean, water has to be the, top priority. That has to be at our forefront of our mind every time. I mean, there's obviously good action underway with building the reservoir, but making sure the road gets, completed on time, monitoring the construction. Also, when it comes to water, I mean, there's some good actions that have been taken with the golf course, to secure additional water rights back for the city, but we need to make sure that it doesn't happen automatically. There's some more action that's going to be required there. So to be cognizant of water, and then in our decision process, when we look at saying, what is our build out, and our decisions that we make for expansion development, are they consistent with what our water constraint is? That's why I'm happy to see, looking at, because water is obviously a key concern for data centers, so that, we just have to always have water factored in there. So I would consider that a priority, because that's life. It's life-giving and life-removing if you don't have it. Second priority, and here again, it's really because things are going so well, because I just say fiscal responsibility. And it's really a function of let's not get complacent that things are going so well. And I mean, we've had very smooth budget processes for the city for the past few years. Cities run without a deficit. City's been able to debt-free buy some incredible properties. You know, it's a tough environment. Cities survived well when other cities are losing sales tax revenue. And as you see here, our sales tax revenues continue to increase. But we can't take that for granted. So we need to look at, you know, when we go into our next budget process, make sure that we're asking the questions of saying, well, you know, wherever we have revenues, are they coming into what the expected levels are? And if they're not, you know, how do we still make sure that we're managing for those differences? Or where we have expenditures, are they different? And so I think keeping fiscal responsibility in mind and just, you know, we can be thankful that we've had somebody doing such a good job there, but we can't absolve ourselves of the responsibility as a council, if I were to be on council, of that responsibility of asking those questions, that anybody should ask in their oversight role. And the third one would be parks and recreation. And there's obviously been, multiple things going on over the years with, Memorial Park improvements, the Bergstrom Park Master Plan, but you take those two big key strategic acquisitions with Avenger Open Space and the golf course. And so, really making sure that not only do we have a good vision of how we make sure that we protect that space over time, protect the character of our mountain community at the same time, make sure that we also be looking at saying, what do we really need to do from a funding perspective to make sure that the resources are in place or made to be in place to do what we need over the long term with those things. Because we want those to obviously be, very, very, well utilized, and they're just so critical. I mean, it just, and so those would be three. I mean, so I think, and there's clearly, there's already stuff underway now with the, with the master plan process happening for a golf course. So that's a good start there. I mean, I think, participating in earnest and really listening to what people think are the possibilities out there.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I think we should bring everybody back, Rob. So if you can have everybody, and Arnie, you.
I'll go back there too.
No, we're bringing everybody in here.
I've got my stuff back there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, go get that.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff, I'm just, Councilmember Gear, I'm just waiting for everybody to come in and be seated.
Cool.
Okay. Council. Discussion.
First of all, I just want to thank the applicants again. Really, you've put me in kind of a pickle. We had 4 incredible applicants, and just to have these citizens show up and be willing to, put the time in and the effort for what this job entails is really commendable. Yeah, we've got a tough vote ahead of us, I think.
We do. I think so. I want to echo your thoughts there too, and just remind the applicant, one, thank all of the applicants. We all appreciate it. And we're, to be fair, we're honored that you guys would want to apply to be up here with us. So thank you for that. I will say as well, for the 3 that we don't choose, please continue to be involved. Please continue to look for other opportunities to volunteer within the city or on some of the city boards. I think that kind of participation is key. Candidates, what do you think?
So Seth and you both stole my comments.
Okay.
So thank you.
You can make them. You could do.
No, I mean, I was going to say the same thing. The 3 that don't get picked tonight, planning really needs.
Planning does.
Planning really needs volunteers. They coincidentally need 3 people. So
Can we just appoint them?
I think they do have to technically apply. But you guys are making my lives a little different, or my life a little difficult. So thank you.
Any discussion about the candidates themselves? Anybody want to?
No, I mean, I think they're all great. It's
Yeah.
not,
Okay.
this is tough.
No, I think like last time we had what, like 9 candidates, something like that. And you know, yeah, 8. And you know, it was difficult to kind of discern a little bit between that many candidates and kind of trying to think about answers and what you thought of them. You know, having a short list this time, I was really, really impressed by a lot of the answers that were given to several of the questions. I appreciated people's honesty with things that maybe they didn't know as well or weren't as versed in. But by the same token, some of the detailed answers that we got was really, really good. So, you know, from my perspective, you know, I wouldn't say I'm still trying to figure out my decision in my head is honestly where I'm at. It's not, you know, and no one stood out in singularly by themselves as an obvious choice from my perspective. This one's definitely going to be harder than the last one.
I don't know if you heard that, Jeff, but somebody said.
No.
Steven said you're welcome.
All right. So the process now will be, I think if there's no more discussion, we'll go to the ballot. We're going to use paper ballots to select our choice, each of our choices individually. And then Monica is going to read those into the record. And should we get a tie, then let me ask you this. Do we need a majority? We do, right? We would need a majority. So if we don't get a majority, if we get only a minority vote or a tie, we'll have to go back to ballot, I guess. Right? Yep. Okay.
So we're just entering one name, correct?
One name. Yeah.
And be sure to put your name on your ballot too, so I know.
Okay. Are we ready to do that, council? You guys ready? Okay.
Yeah, with this piece of paper still.
Yes.
I feel like we need Jeopardy music. Man.
Oh, thank you. So all the pickleball people, you did not expect this, right? Do not feel pressured to stay.
Okay, should I just read who voted and what their choice was? Okay, so Seth Bryant for Stephen Lee. Catherine Nakai for Arnie Sparnant. Don DeZellem for Steve White. Steve Smith for Stephen Lay. And George Jones for Stephen Lay. And Jeffrey Gear for Stephen Lay. So he has 4 votes.
So a majority, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Monica.
Yep.
All right. Mr. Lay.
Real quick before we jump in.
Yes.
I do want to reiterate that you know, the application process, you know, I really appreciate everyone jumping in that did. This, like I said, this one was extremely difficult. And I really highly encourage the 3 of you that did not get selected to consider applying to planning. I want to reiterate Mayor Pro Tem's comments on that. It's extremely important, and it's a board that we definitely need seats filled on. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Gear. And it is a board that does need qualified candidates. And I honestly, I'll just say it again, this was a great group of folk and we'd love to have you in other roles. Monica, thank you for the entire application process and receiving everybody's applications and managing this for us. Okay, it's on you. Yeah.
We need a motion to appoint.
Oh,
I'll go ahead and make a motion to appoint Stephen Lee to the vacant council seat.
I'll second.
thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second.
Okay, Jones,
Yes.
Nakai,
Yes.
Bryant,
Yes.
Gear.
Yes. Yeah, the mute button, it's a problem.
Smith,
Yes.
DeZellem,
Yes.
and the motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
So now, Stephen, if you would come up and we'll do your oath of office.
Oh, do we have to call you Stephen now?
On this side of the podium so we can hear and both can use the microphone.
Great.
So raise your right hand and repeat after me.
The door's open.
I state your name,
I, Stephen Lay,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Colorado,
and of the state of Colorado,
the charter and ordinances
the charter and ordinances
of the city of Woodland Park,
of the city of Woodland Park,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
and I will faithfully perform the duties
of a city council member
of the city council
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter. Thank you.
You're used to it.
Thank you.
Does this mean I have to move over?
I'm just gonna, yeah, so. Please come up. No, he's gonna take Jeff's seat.
Oh, okay.
Oh, darn, I could just see that next to me.
Hey, folks, at this time, Monica, I know I'm gonna throw a curveball at you, and Aaron, but we were just gonna take a 5-minute break.
Okay,
And-
perfect.
Yeah, and let Steve get settled if that's okay, and then we'll go. Okay, so we're just gonna break for 5 minutes, folks. Thank you all for being here. Yeah. That's how that works. Yeah, I don't know why I was. Did you? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Okay. Moving expeditiously along to item 3E and our Main Street volunteer. So sorry that we've gotten this far. Usually we get past those. But Monica.
Yes. So we have received an application from Marzell Black to serve on the Main Street Committee. And Tim, also from the Main Street Committee, would like to introduce her and say a couple
Oh,
words.
perfect.
Tough decision you had just a little bit ago, but I am here to introduce the easiest decision you will ever make. Not only is Marzell Black a super mom and also a great physical therapist, the greatest for UC Health ever to grace those halls, but she is also a community mover. We've served on Rotary Club for the last 5 years, and she and I have done a number of community-oriented projects, including improving the landscape of the senior center as well as cleaning up the cemetery. When she first heard we were starting a Main Street board, she was one of the first people to sign up. So I was elated when I asked her, hey, would you like to join the board? And she didn't even hesitate, as a testament to just how community minded she is. As an aside, don't worry about the planning commission. We still have a vacancy on the Main Street board. So consider applying to that.
Okay.
And it's my pleasure to introduce Marzell Black.
Thank you. Marzell, welcome. Thank you. Tell us your name. Give us a little bit of introduction to yourself, maybe a little history, and tell us why.
I have lived in, do I need to bend it down a little bit? I've lived in Woodland Park since 2011.
Okay.
We really started out small town community. We moved from Mississippi. No, I am not from the South. I'm from South Africa, which is south of the equator. And everybody's like, every time, where are you from? Where's your accent from? Are you from Australia? No, not from Australia. So what got us to Woodland Park was really small town. I've been involved as a therapist here, helping to open up a home health clinic in the Springs that failed in 2012, and then started working with UC Health. I'm the rehab manager for the inpatient and outpatient clinic since 2018. I'm serving as a secretary for Rotary for the past 5 or 6 years, 5 years. I really feel like Woodland Park is a fabulous place to live. This is going to be retirement for me, for sure. I would like to get involved with anything that I can help the town with growing, changing. I am not afraid to work. If there's any volunteer opportunity, I will be willing to help. And I think I demonstrate that to my kids too. They are very involved in any volunteer opportunity. It's important that we as citizens get involved with anything that we can beautify, improve this town, and meet our fellow neighbors and encourage them to do the same.
Excellent. Thank you. Council, any discussion
I have a quick
or
question.
questions? Sorry.
Sure. Just out of curiosity more than anything. What did you do as a marching band volunteer?
I was the band mom.
Oh, okay. All right.
So had to pack up tents, pull carts with water bottles and prepare food for different events. It was fun.
Okay, thanks.
Any other question? Steve, do you have a question? Other Steve. Just kidding. I'll put you on the spot.
No questions.
Okay.
He's Steven.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that one out. That's gonna get
Yeah,
tricky.
I think Steve did. He just did.
Okay,
That's
okay.
Steve. All right. Anybody else questions for Marzell? Okay. All right. Thank you. Council discussion or motion? Mike. I'm gonna call you Mike.
Well, there you go. I would like to make a motion to appoint Marzell Black to the Main Street Committee.
I'll second it.
Monica?
Okay. Bryant,
Yes.
Gear,
Yes.
Smith,
Yep.
DeZellem,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Nakai,
Yes.
Lay.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes unanimously.
Your first.
Now. Your oath. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Marzell Black,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Colorado,
and of the state of Colorado,
the charter and ordinances
the charter and ordinances
of the city of Woodland Park,
of the city of Woodland Park,
and I will faithfully perform the duties
and I will faithfully perform the duties
as a member of the Main Street Committee
as the member of the Main Street Committee,
on which I'm about to enter.
upon
Which I'm about to enter.
which I'm about to enter.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Marzell. All right. Sales tax update.
Nope. We have another.
Oh, gosh, yeah,
Do the same.
I know. Okay. Item 3F, Keep Woodland Park Beautiful Committee appointment. Apologies.
So we have received an application from Kelly Hunziker
Oh.
to serve on the Keep Woodland Park Beautiful Committee. Is she here? Okay, great. So if you want to just come up and
Yep.
talk to council while you're interested in serving.
Yeah, let us know, give us your name again and let us know, give us a little background and let us know why you want to be on the Keep Woodland Park Beautiful Committee.
My name is Kelly Hunsaker. I have lived in Woodland Park for 24 years. I have a lot of time. I happen to be disabled. I'm home a lot. I have a lot of time to give. And over the past few years, I've found some ways to get more involved in the community and give. I'm a newly appointed member of the Library Board of Trustees. And when I saw that Kelly Bryant was doing this now, I don't drive, so I asked her if she'd be willing to be my chauffeur so that I could volunteer for this, and she said yes, so here I am.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Council. Questions for the applicant?
Not a question, but Kelly, I've known you for a few years and
Yeah.
I really do appreciate your dedication to this community. And I think you will be an excellent addition to the Keep Woodland Park Beautiful committee. So thank you for applying.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Can I get a motion?
I would like to make a motion to appoint Kelly Hunsaker to the Keep Woodland Park Beautiful committee.
I'll second.
Monica?
Okay. Lay,
Yes.
Smith,
Yep.
DeZellem,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Nakai,
Yes.
Bryant,
Yes.
Gear,
Yes.
and motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
And now we will do your oath of office.
Okay.
Okay. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Kelly Hunsaker,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Colorado,
and of the state of Colorado,
the charter and ordinances
the charter and ordinances
of the city of Woodland Park,
of the city of Woodland Park,
and that I faithfully perform the duties
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
as a member of the Keep Woodland Park Beautiful Committee,
as a member of the Keep Woodland Park Beautiful Committee,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter. Thank you.
I love having a big crowd here, especially when we're appointing
Thank you.
people. It's nice. The applause is nice. Okay, thank you, Kelly. And let's move on to item 3G, sales tax update. City Manager Vassalati.
All right, now for the fun. Come on.
All
All right, so we have the May 2026 sales tax received in the month of June. So we are finally caught up now on our sales tax reporting. Year to date, we are actually exactly flat at 0%. May, we were up 1.9%, which was 12,571 over last year, which was 692,000. We did have a dip in April, which was a little bit uncharacteristic when you look at the next slide. But we are basically $838 over last year with $3.2 million collected in sales tax. Lodging tax, we are 13.8% down year over year, with May up 11.3%, which was the first month we were up, I believe, all year. Okay, so when we look at our sales tax collection, it's the lighter green line, I guess you would say. I gotta change these colors. But you can see that January, February, March, we've been up, and then May we were up again, and April was a little bit of an anomaly. So I do expect for us to have a strong summer. Preliminary numbers for June sales tax, which we were collected in July, are looking pretty strong. So I think we'll continue to move upward.
And yeah, and you're doing year over year. So I wonder, I don't know if next time when we come back for the June numbers, if you look at 2024, go back to.
Sure.
Well, we'll see it. We'll see it on the chart. It's fine.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Kirby.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, I did have a question for you at one point we talked about revenues from golf course.
Yes.
Aquatic center.
We are planning to bring those next month.
Okay, next month.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving along. Item 4, additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda. Monica?
None.
None? Okay. Consent calendar. We've got approval of the June 18th City Council meeting minutes, statement of expenditures on May 2026, and statement of expenditures June 2026. Council, any discussion, any separation?
Yes, so can we separate the minutes from the B and C?
Yep, we certainly can.
I found a couple minor,
Do you want to take care of A first?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
so I found a couple, A for the minutes, I found a couple
Oh.
minor,
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay, minor edits, which I emailed to the clerk and she has corrected. And so I would just like to, have those approved as amended.
As amended, okay.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion and a second.
Okay. DeZellem,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Nakai,
Yes.
Bryant,
Yes.
Gear,
Yes.
Lay,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Perfect.
And then on the other two,
Yeah.
go ahead, George.
Oh, no, go ahead, Jeff. Yeah, we have
The sale.
B and C. Yep.
Yeah, I'll make a motion for the B and C as read.
Statement of expenditure.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any discussion on that? Did you have something you were going to point out in there or no?
No,
That was just
no.
about the minutes.
Just
Okay.
about the minutes, yeah.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Yeah.
I did want to make,
Jones?
What? Nope.
Oh, wait.
I did want to make just one clarifying comment because I do get this question sometime. The reason that the payroll checks was more in May than in June is because we had a third payroll. So that's the reason why.
Oh, right. Yep. Okay.
Okay, Jones,
Yes.
Nakai,
Yes.
Lay,
Yes.
Bryant,
Yes.
Gear,
Yes.
Smith,
Yep.
DeZellem.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, item 6, public comment on items not on the agenda. Do we have anyone?
We do. We had someone sign up online, Gary Allen. Present.
I'm your surprise guest for tonight.
Oh, nice. Mr. Allen, please give us your first and last name, city of residence, and then you may begin.
Okay, my name's Gary Allen, and technically I live about a 1/10 of a mile outside of the city limits.
Okay.
But I'm here today to represent the Pickleball Above the Clouds. I've assumed the presidency from Jim Rumsey, and just want to introduce myself to you folks, and I'm going to be asking for consideration for the pickleball courts. The group has vested in interest in the pickleball courts. We've have people have donated, some already in the city coffers. I think others that we have money in accounts that since we're a 501c3, we have over 160 plus members. We've added like 12 to 15 in the last 3 weeks, I think it is. And I know you have many other things to consider, but just like to, we have a great sports complex at Meadowood, but we're sorely acting in one area, and that's true pickleball courts. And it is a big sport everywhere, and it's getting so with everybody. We've had engineering drawings, bids, other items related to this project seem to be promised, but nothing has come to fruition yet. And I'm just simply here to ask for if we could get status for these renovations. Could we please get some kind of periodic updates? I know you have the golf course came up and things like that happen, but if we could get some periodic updates that I could relay to our group, because we are a large group, and just like many people have already pledged donations to this project. Some of them are like me. I have made my pledge on the condition the donation is made once we start seeing ground broken and things move there. Just last thing I want to comment. I would like to invite you to come by, see how many people are playing. We have 9 sessions going on every week. We have lots of people out there, and come out, see us, come out and join us. I'll loan you my paddle. And who knows, you may get hooked. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Allen.
And we also have Diane Reed signed up.
I comment on that. Thank you, Gary. Yeah, my attendance has been poor of late, but it is a great group and people have a lot of fun, and it's really a great thing for the town.
Hi, I'm Diane Reed from Woodland Park. I'm here tonight to simply reiterate how much I appreciate City Council for preserving Avenger open space for outdoor public use. And I'm also once again thanking you for hiring Team Rubicon. As you know, last fall, Team Rubicon engaged in mitigation and very carefully pulled out over 1,000 trees in the open space to help prevent wildfires, while at the same time taking extraordinary precaution to preserve trees that had been culturally modified by indigenous tribes centuries ago. Recently, Team Rubicon returned to the open space to finish the job of removing thousands of pounds of slash that had remained on the forest floor. Try closing your eyes for a second and envisioning a sea of smaller logs and sticks everywhere that they had to collect and transport out of the open space. To let you know how conscientious Team Rubicon was in this effort, I would like to show you specimen A.
You're submitting.
Specimen A is a typical forest stick that they had to remove by the truckloads. But now I would like to show you specimen B. Specimen B is not an ordinary stick. Specimen B is a highly curated doggy stick from the open space that was chosen by me because it is smooth and won't leave splinters and doggy gums, as well as immensely throwable across meadows to exercise specimen C. Bring him up. Specimen C is my dog, Max, a very energetic standard collie who will not let me sleep at night unless he gets enough exercise. Because I'm let's pass around.
Or give it to the dog.
It would make his day if I passed around specimens, because he is the friendliest dog in Woodland Park.
Nice stick. That's
Because I'm kind of a smart dog owner, I had cleverly made several piles of specimen B doggy sticks, that's a smooth one, beside a trail in the open space so that I always had enough throw toys whenever Max and I go hiking. Now imagine my total surprise. After Team Rubicon was finished pulling out all of the leftover logs and sticks, that they had carefully differentiated the slash from my doggy sticks. Even though these piles of sticks were all right next to each other, they diligently left my doggy stick piles in place.
Team Rubicon's attention to detail was insane. And I and Max are very grateful that you hired a company that cared so much about our public open space, as well as our communities and our doggies' needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you get your sticks back?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right. Any more?
No.
Okay. Nobody online? Okay. Unfinished business. We have none. Ordinances on initial posting. Item 8A, approval of ordinance number 1527, series 2026 on initial posting.
Those two got removed. You probably.
Oh,
have
thank you.
Agenda.
Yeah.
So we don't have any ordinances on it.
All right. No. Yeah, yep. I forgot. Okay. Scratch 8A and 8B. Thank you. No ordinances on initial posting. Public hearings. So this is where we get into the public hearing portion of our evening. These items, two of the items are QJ. So I'll just remind council. Maybe we'll do a quick education on the QJ piece for you, Steve. Basically, we're operating in a quasi judicial role during these two ordinance. These two. One's a temporary use permit, and the other one is a resolution. Looks like. So during that time, we can only really interrogate or ask questions that are relevant to the very motion or ordinance or resolution that are there. So we just need to be a little diligent about that, and we'll be happy to coach you if things get a little awry. Yeah. Okay. And we have Grant.
All right.
With a nice pocket square there.
Thank you so much. All right, so this is item agenda 9A, which is to consider request by Belinda Bennett, applicant, to Peter Labar, property owner, for an on-site vendor camping from August 10th through the 17th, 2026 for the Woodland Park Rock Gem and Jewelry Show special event at 19250 East Highway US 24 in the Service Commercial District. So background for this one is pursuant to the Municipal Code Section 8.12, camping in designated areas, the City Council may permit self-contained camping units in designated locations other than licensed campgrounds. The city has received a written request to camp overnight in conjunction with the Rock Gem and Jewelry Show. This will be the 16th year for camping in conjunction with the Rock Gem and Jewelry Show at this location. And approximately we have 45 vendors, and the requested generators to operate until 10 p.m. So in years prior, it was 9 p.m., but last year they asked for extension on that time to 10 p.m. and that was passed. I spoke with the PD this morning regarding any noise complaints that they've received, and the answer was no. They've had no noise complaints in the past year over this event. And roughly they're expecting about 2,000 people, and the show opens from August 13th through the 16th, 9 to 5. And that's the event itself, and they clean up on the 16th. And staff recommends motion to approve camping in the UPass Saddle Club grounds in conjunction with the Rock Gem and Jewelry Show, subject to 10 conditions. And the condition number 1 is camping shall occur only between 9 a.m. August 10th through 9 p.m. August 17th, 2026. Condition 2, camping shall be for event volunteers and vendors only, with no more than 45 camping units permitted on site at any given time. Condition 3, camping units shall include tents, camper trailers, recreational vehicles, and pickup campers. Condition, I believe I lost my place. Condition 4, camping units shall not be connected to city water and sewer and shall be self-contained. Condition 5, on and off-site trash, garbage, and debris shall be cleaned up during and upon cessation of camping. On-site cleanup shall be coordinated with and enforced by the property owner and event coordinator. Condition 6, the event coordinator shall be responsive to complaints received, if any. 7, all light for the camping and event areas, if any, shall be downcast and fully shielded and turned off by 9 p.m. each night. Condition 8, all generators, if any, shall be turned off by 10 p.m. Condition 9, the event coordinator and all campers shall at all times be subject to Municipal Code 9.41 noise. And finally, condition 10, at no time shall campers, vendors, event volunteers, and or guest participants obstruct access to the City of Woodland Park lift station. And I do believe I'm available for questions, and the applicant Belinda is also here to answer any additional questions you guys may have.
Okay. Yep.
I have
Okay.
a question.
I'm gonna do first.
No, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Can we add a condition to have them follow the stage 2 burn ban?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anything about pets? Are
And-
pets permitted? Or are they not permitted?
That would be an excellent question she's nodding yes, the affirmative. that
They are
pets
permitted.
Yeah, we will in just a minute.
I've got two questions for you. The first was regarding the generators running until 10 PM. I looked at the map there and I'm familiar with the area. But just for confirmation, that area does not border any residential properties, right?
No.
Okay. And the second one is on condition 7, the lighting.
Mhm.
Can we specify that as like external or outdoor lighting? Or is the intention that people don't have like lanterns and lights on inside their tents and campers?
Typically how that works is like, we don't want light to pierce the property boundaries, so that if you're passing by, you're not being blinded by lights from the event itself.
So condition 7 would not restrict like indoor.
They should be able to see where they are. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point. It says all lighting.
Okay, I will make changes to that.
Yeah. Any other questions for staff?
I do have one question. On number 8, all generators shall be turned off by 10 PM. Now, my concern and question is, just because it might cause issues, what about people with medical devices that need a generator running? How are they gonna handle that situation?
That is an excellent question. Would you come up and speak?
Yeah, and are we, any other questions for staff? And then we'll talk to Belinda. No? Okay. Okay.
Belinda Burnett. So I've never had that question. I don't know of any of my vendors that would require any medical devices. But I have been encouraging people to use like a portable battery bank, that's big enough, even for lighting and stuff, so that generators aren't disruptive to everybody. So,
Are you seeing a lot more of those big battery banks versus a generator?
a lot of people are going solar and they're
Yeah.
using those big battery banks. I do because
Mhm.
it's better and easier and lighter and smaller.
Right.
So there are a few that need the generators. Setup can take a long time into the night. And so sometimes people pull in late and need to get set up. But I've never encountered any of my vendors. I know them all pretty well. I don't know of any that require any medical devices. If I did, is that something I should request, an exemption for, or?
We've never had that question, so. Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess what I would do is get back with Grant and, contact city staff and say, let them know what's going on and we can deal with it then.
Okay, sure.
But I suspect most of it is gonna be battery. All right, so we talked to staff, any other questions for the applicant? No? Okay.
I just wanted to say that I know the camping thing has been an issue in the past, and there was actually some good questions brought up last year at the meeting about campfires. And camping is used very loosely in this situation. It's basically people being allowed to be on site so that they can set up late, get up early, and kind of act as their own security for their stuff, because what they're selling can be extremely valuable. And so people just want to be on site. We're not usually like having campfires and things like that. The burn ban, I think we definitely be taking very seriously. I'll be putting up no smoking signs and things along that line.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I'll be on top of people. I don't want the place to burn down either, so.
Right. Thank you.
Sure.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to add, this is Karen, the planning director, that with the actual temporary use permit that gets issued, there's actually more conditions than what you saw here this evening that are part of that condition or that temporary use permit. The ones you have in front of you this evening are specific to the overnight camping.
This applicant. Oh, overnight.
To
Okay,
overnight
got it,
camping.
gotcha.
So there's
Yeah.
there's other things that we put to add to most of our temporary use permits, such as they must comply with all the temporary use permit sign requirements for the signs that you will see pop up down there shortly. And I'm drawing a blank on some of the other ones, but that's one that comes to mind. So if that helps you.
Yeah, no, that's great. And to Mayor Pro Tem's point, the stage 2 fire ban, does that automatically apply, or do we need to add that condition in there?
We can call it out specifically in that. And like one of the other conditions I've seen on like an open grassy field like that, historically, I think came from the fire chief to make sure that it's mowed to an appropriate level.
Right.
So that's those type of prep conditions that also happen around events such as this.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Council? Okay. Yeah, public, yes, thank you. Yeah,
So we do not need to add an amendment to that, correct?
I think they,
Oh, we will.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, as part of the motion, yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna open up, thank you, Belinda. Now we're gonna open up the public comment portion of the hearing.
I don't know if anyone signed up to.
Okay.
speak Unless there's someone in the audience.
All right, we will now close the public comment portion of the hearing and go back to council for discussion or motion.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve a temporary use permit for the Woodland Park Rock and Gem Jewelry Show as requested by Belinda Bennett, applicant, and Peter Labar, property owner, for on-site vendor camping from August 10th to 17th, 2026 for the Woodland Park Rock, Gem, and Jewelry Show special event at 19250 East US Highway 24 in the Service Commercial District, or in the Service Commercial Zone District, with the 10 recommendations and with the addition of the stage 2 burn ban.
Second?
Monica, we have a motion and a second.
Yep. Bryant,
Yes.
Gear,
Yes, sorry.
Lay,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
DeZellem,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Nakai.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you. Okay, another quasi judicial, resolution number 943, series 2026. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Woodland Park, Colorado, approving the Haven at Paradise filing number 2, subdivision, preliminary and final plats. Karen.
Good evening, council. I apologize in advance if my PowerPoint freezes.
Oh.
I've had that happen a couple times recently, so just bear with me if that should occur. Come on. And then I also want to do a real quick commercial. Yes, I have 3 openings on the Planning Commission, but on the Board of Adjustment, there's also 2 vacancies, one of which is a result of the Rumseys leaving us. And then on the Building Board of Review, building construction knowledge is a requirement to serve on that board, but there are 2 vacancies available on that board as well. So I have plenty of opportunities for people wanting to serve our community. So thank you. What you have in front of you tonight is the second filing of a subdivision, the Haven at Paradise. This would have been to you a little bit sooner, but we did encounter quorum issues with the Planning Commission, so it got delayed. But it's in front of you now. And then this application was submitted March 17th of this year. So just prior to the Unified Development Code going into effect that month. So when you see code sections referenced in this, we're referring back to the Title 17 around subdivision requirements instead of the Unified Development Code, just due to the application date. So this property is in the southeast part of the city of Woodland Park. It's in the Top of Paradise filing, or a Top of Paradise area of the city up off of Kings Crown Road. And that's where it froze. There we go. Oops. Nope. Sorry. So the Top of Paradise Master Plan was approved in 2005. It comprises 197.7 acres. It's had several extensions over the years, and it's now current through August 4th of 2030. Within this area is the Haven at Paradise subdivision, and the preliminary plat for that was approved in 2019. There were a couple of extensions that happened after that. And then the final plat for the Haven at Paradise subdivision was approved March of 2023. And that plat was then recorded in August of 24. This is a small area out of that 197 original acres. So this particular subdivision comprises 11.34 acres. It has 24 single-family lots on it and 2 tracts of land. So once that plat is approved and ultimately recorded, folks at the county assessor's office then take that plat and they go to update the county's maps, and then also track not just the geographic area for the lots in the subdivision, but also ownership of those lots. So it was part of that mapping process where they identified that we have a problem. Specifically outlined in yellow here are lots 4 and 5 of the subject subdivision. And then it turns out that those overlap onto a previously recorded piece of land owned by the city of Woodland Park. So it's about 2.4 acres, I believe, that belongs to the city. And the city obtained that parcel in 1984. So almost 20 years prior to the master plan, and then almost another 20 years, I think, by the time this plat was recorded. So the city's parcel has been out there for quite a while. And that area of overlap is about 12,853 square feet. So the size of a decent sized residential lot. So what you have in front of you this evening around this application, the objective is to correct the situation because it cannot stay like this. So when we look at the zoning for the area, outlined in red is the property we're talking about this evening. This bigger blue square here is the city's property, and that zone district is the public, semi-public lands zone. Then the yellow stuff in and around that area is the suburban residential zone. So that's all single-family homes. You can see the lotting that has already been done around there. And then to the north and west of the city's property, there's an area where there's no lots yet. That's going to be a future filing of the Haven at Paradise. So in the future, that developer will be talking about dividing that land at that point. The other things to talk about in this area is there were 2 other filings, part of the Paradise Estate subdivision that happened here. So south of our blue square. So in and around this area is all Paradise Estate subdivisions that were done in 1983. So I imagine this debt conveyance to the city of Woodland Park in 84 was somehow tied to that, but we weren't able to find anything direct in the records that we looked at. These 2 skinny properties that stick off to the southwest of the city's property, those are also owned by the city of Woodland Park. And you'll notice that they actually connect down here to Ponderosa Way and Kings Crown Road. And then this other land that goes off through here that's in that same blue color is also owned by the city. So that's all public, semi-public lands in there that have been around for a while. So when we look at this area, this plat from 2024, the recent filing, compared to the master plan for the area, it is absolutely consistent. So this is from the plat that was recorded. You can see lots 4 and 5. There's a utility easement that runs up between the 2 of those because there's a major city water line that runs through there. And that's also what's in this diagonal line here off to the northwest. But one of the requirements for plating is you're supposed to show all the parcels around that and any ownership and such. So that's definitely missing from the plat that was recorded. But when you look at the master plan for this particular area, and we're down into this little section here in the center by the green stuff, and the red line, this little point right there, where my mouse is between lots 4 and 5, where that easement runs through there. So that particular location, and on this master plan from 2005, you can see does not show at all the city's square in there, but it does identify like 6.2 acres or so of open space that is planned to go into that particular area. And so this image is showing you on the left, the plat that was recorded and how that looks. And then what it should have looked, or what the outline of the city's parcel, if that had been included in there. But this image does show that overlap in terms of what's actually going on in this situation. So the objective with this application is to correct that 12,853 square foot area of overlap. And so what we're looking in or have in front of you is both the preliminary and final plats, where we take those lots 4 and 5 along with the 2.24 acre parcel owned by the city, and we redraw those boundary lines. So one option would have been to potentially split the difference down between where that overlap is. But that was not what the applicant representing the landowner was wanting to do, that they really wanted to set this up in terms of what it was they originally thought they were getting around those lots. And so that's what we're bringing to you here this evening. So with this being filing 2 of that same subdivision, what you see is lot 1 and 2, or lot 1 and 2 is 4 and 5 in the old filing. And then the city's parcel in this image is identified as lot 3, but it was brought to my attention that that would be better labeled as tract A, since it's really for city use and not other development down the line. So that's what that's about. And then the other interesting thing with this lot that is owned by the city is it is landlocked. There is no frontage on a road. With the deed with that, there is no dedicated access or acknowledgement of how you got to that parcel. So that is something that we are looking to correct here by this easement that runs between these 2 lots here. It's already city utility in there. And so changing the label associated with that from just a 30-foot wide utility easement to a 30-foot wide public easement for utilities and ingress and egress to serve that tract A. So that's the recommendation around that. And then the other thing you will see, or might have noticed back on that zoning map page, is the city's parcel being zoned public, semi-public land, extending into where lots 1 and 2 on this image are. And you really want lots 1 and 2 in their entirety to be that single-family residential zone. So you don't want split zoning there. With this application, we did not identify that as a zone change also. So we need to bring that back at a future point once we know exactly the land area to be, for that area, the zone change to be corrected. So those are other items that need to be addressed here. So as part of our process, this application was referred to our various City of Woodland Park departments and some external referral agencies. We received feedback from Woodland Park Utilities Department that they are in favor of this proposed subdivision. And then Core Electric was also supportive of what you have in front of you this evening. The next couple of slides just summarize what's in your staff report around those various code requirements and does this comply or not. And we found that things were either in compliance or not applicable or may be able to comply. One of those on this particular slide pertains to that access easement. So by changing the purpose of that utility easement to include access into the city tract, that would take care of that particular issue. So these pertain to the preliminary plat, and then the final plat was found to be in compliance also. As part of our process, this proposal went to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board for their review, and they looked at this on May 13th of this year. They had no concerns with this proposal. But for the future, they are concerned about that future subdivision outlined in red here on this slide off the master plan, and then protecting access to Forest Service land with that future filing. Because here on the northeast, all of that area is Forest Service land. So that's part of what this open space here as part of the master plan was supposed to serve. And then, like I said, it is not showing, but where the city's parcel currently sits in there. We also, as part of this process, made sure notifications went out to property owners within 150 feet of the subject property. And we also kept them apprised of any changes around hearing dates due to quorum issues. And then the site was posted with a notification, and then ads were ran in the paper around the public hearings. So when this went to Planning Commission, there were 4 conditions recommended. The first is that prior to the conveyance of any lot, the final plat must be recorded in the Teller County Clerk and Recorder's Office. Number 2, the applicant must resubmit the preliminary and final plat documents, correcting any red line comments from the Woodland Park Planning Department. And then under that, Lot 3 being relabeled to Tract A. I'm going to skip to condition 4, and that is that the owner of those new lots 1 and 2 in the Haven and Paradise filing number 2 subdivision must consent to the zone change so that the entirety of both lots will be zoned suburban residential. Condition 3 pertains to the land area that overlaps specifically that's now going to lots 1 and 2. And that recommendation was that the property owner and applicant must work with the city of Woodland Park on the next filing of the Haven at Paradise to dedicate an amount of open space equal to or more than the land area lost in the Haven at Paradise filing number 2 final plat. Planning Commission had a fairly robust discussion around this. They found staff's wording, I believe they used, was woefully inadequate. So they instead suggested this language for condition number 3, and this is what's in that resolution, was all 4 of these conditions. But condition 3 should be worded as prior to recording the final plat, the property owner shall enter into an agreement satisfactory to the city of Woodland Park, the city, to dedicate to the city either or both of the following as may be satisfactory to the city in its sole discretion. So 1 is an amount of additional open space equal to or more than the city's parkland area reduced in the proposed Haven at Paradise filing number 2 final plat. Or number 2, additional access easements for public recreational use. And then they went on to define that additional open space and additional easements refer to public open space and easements in excess of those identified in the current master plan. The agreement shall run with the unplatted parcels of land contiguous with this area of this final plat in which the property owner has an interest. So in front of you, we have resolution number 943, series 2026, which makes a series of findings around this particular subdivision and includes those 4 conditions I just reviewed. And so the recommendation would be to approve the Haven at subdivision filing number 2 preliminary and final plat. The request by Mark McNabb, MBI Contractors, is the applicant, Ventus LLC is the property owner, and the city of Woodland Park is a property owner, to replat into 3 parcels, lot 4 and 5 of the Haven at Paradise, which is zoned suburban residential, together with an unplatted 2.5 plus or minus acre tract in the southwest quarter of section 19, township 12 south, range 68 west of the 6th principal meridian, zone public, semi-public land in the city of Woodland Park, Teller County, Colorado. So subject to those conditions in the resolution. Questions?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a few.
Sure.
Okay, let's talk about that Planning Commission condition number 3.
Sure.
Could go back to that. So this, what they're saying is there was that green open space planned in that property, and the 12,000 square feet that the city is losing, they want that open space expanded by that. They can't just say, oh,
it's
move
included
the
in there.
square, right? Sorry?
Yeah, no, there's what the city has, there's what was planned, the
Yeah.
6.2. And then I was taking this as we want the 12,800 and whatever we're giving up now, you need to add that on.
Yeah.
So these are
incremental
minimums.
to what is designed there.
Was already planned for
Yeah.
that area.
So in essence, we wouldn't be losing 12,800 square feet. It'd just be going somewhere else.
Correct.
Okay.
And which was part of the conversation, said, I remember suggesting to the applicant that perhaps the city and the applicant split the difference between the land area. And they said, no, we want everything that thought we were going to have with those particular lots. So that the city does not end up losing that land area. The proposal is, well, let's get it out of a future filing. But there's always the risk of what if they sell that land to somebody else? So the point behind this is to get an agreement recorded so it tags along with that piece of land.
Yep.
So at some point, if your planning staff turns over, it takes a while for the developer to come back. It shows up on their title work that, oh, wait, there's this promise that now needs to be taken care of.
Right. And let's see, my thought on this. So can that 12,800 square feet be put anywhere? Are they saying, or does it have to be contiguous with the city-owned property?
I think there's some benefit to keeping that a little bit flexible.
Okay.
Because in talking with the landowner, there have suggested that there's potentially some revisions to that master plan in terms of how they see this being laid out, because the terrain is a little challenging in places. So they're not sure how this finally engineers out. So there may be a better place or a different layout. And then I also have been encouraging them, such as up in the high country, ski resorts, ski out property is a huge kind of asset. People really like to have that kind of a condo. So they have an opportunity with this plat or this area out there to develop trail in, trail out property. And so whether it's other trails within the development, connections to the forest, connection to the other city holdings, there's really the potential to plus out a lot of what this community really values. So, and since they were not at a place with that future filing to start to work that out now, and wanted to take care of correcting these two lots with the overlap, that's why you kind of have this promise for the future.
Right. I mean, I like planning's conditions. The one concern I have, council, is getting 12,800 square feet off in some weird space like we've seen down inside the loop. We've got that one piece of property that no one can do anything with. And so that would be my only concern, is that they go, oh yeah, we met that condition, and it's, often some weird.
Within developing this agreement between the city and the landowner, there is the potential for the city to be a little more specific about this having some value and quality and not just a scrap that's unusable. So I think we've got that opportunity to put some qualifiers in there.
And the language here also says that it's at the sole discretion of the city. So
it
if
does.
they offered us something that's often unusable, and given that this was a landlocked track already, but if they offer us something that's, really of no benefit to our residents, it seems like we've got grounds to just blanket reject it.
Yeah.
Is the easement, right? The expansion of the easement to be more than a utility easement, is that a trail easement or a road easement? And does that come with this, or is that deferred also to a future point?
No, that would be recorded on this particular filing number 2. And the language on there, it's the language that was expanded. So instead of it just being a 30-foot wide public utility easement, it says 30-foot wide public easement for utilities in ingress and egress to serve, and it'll say tract A.
Okay. And that could be road, trail.
In talking to the utilities director, since this really is just a water line that runs through that area, it's not like we have other infrastructure and such up there. I don't know that the city's looking to actually put any type of surfaced path up in there at this point in time. So it's more about just making sure we've got that legal right to at least walk up through there.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Oh,
Yes,
Just a
sir.
real quick one. How did something like this happen?
It's a long story, as I laid out, that the land was conveyed to the city in 83, and it was not a platted parcel. So for whatever reason, it just kind of got lost in things. I don't know.
80s.
Yeah. So that's where platting is helpful because it really helps account for all of the land. And it's a lot of people that looked over this over a lot of years. So you had the developer, you've had surveyors, you've had multiple planners, you had a number of people at the city. So it was finally when somebody else was plugging this into other established mapping, the county assessor, when this was flagged. When I was talking to the city attorney earlier this afternoon to make sure that we were on the same page in case there was extra questions, he brought up to me in his years of experience, yes, we see this. It's never fun when this happens. And yeah, the best approach is how do we fix it? Because it's been a long time coming. I mean, especially when you go back to 1983, I really don't want to think about it was what, 40 years that this has kind of been dragging around?
Oh, no.
30, 40. There's a lot of
Only a
people.
couple of years ago.
Hasn't been that long.
There's a lot of people that have looked at this. So it's not like it's any one person. So like I said, how do we fix this? How do we go forward so that the city and the landowner get what we need so this can be used effectively going forward?
Sorry, one more.
Sure.
The two lots coming off the
Oh.
southwest, those are also city lots, correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
The terrain is pretty stout in there, so you need to be a mountain goat to really navigate that successfully.
Right up my alley.
Anything else for me?
Sorry. Any other questions for staff? Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Will we be hearing from the applicant at all?
I assume so. He's here.
Okay, yeah.
I'm Mark McNabb with MBI Contractors, and I represent the owners, which is Ventus LLC. And I guess where we're at now is we feel like we are depending on the city to come back when we start developing the other section and be fair with us. Because our opinion is that the plat that was approved on Havens 1 is a legal plat that the city agreed to and signed off on. So that's our feeling about that. But in return, rather than to make that contentious, we want to go along with the city and hopefully come up with a fair solution that will work for everybody. I do point out that, again, the lot in contention here, nobody even knew about, the city didn't know. And it's landlocked, so it's useless until there's a right of way to it, which we talked about. So our recommendation is going to be that we agree to use the cul-de-sac from Red Haven as a parking space for a trail going up the easement that you all were just talking about, and allowing that to happen and use our street for public parking to do that. On the other end, in the new section, we can do the same thing. So in response to making an even deal here, we would like to also, and we're going to recommend that the other easement going the other way, where the water lines continuing over to the new section, be done the same way. So there'll actually be two potential trails coming for public use, which normally is not done out of a private subdivision, but we're open to that. And hopefully the square footage on those two easements would be well over the 12,000 that's being given up.
Over the, well, oh, you're counting the easement as,
Well, we're agreeing to the fact it can be used for public entrance and our streets can be used for parking for trailhead. And that would be that's going to be our recommendation to start the process with, if possible. There's a couple other places in the new subdivision where there could be a trailhead. It wouldn't be useless like what we discussed. It would be a good potential for another trailhead into the national forest.
okay.
So those are our ideas that we're looking at. So we're really trusting the city to be fair.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do have a question.
Yep.
When you say our street and that you will allow parking, is that not a public street that's gonna be there? So.
Well, we're
are
not
you
saying, okay.
What are you exactly implying?
Well, what we're saying is if it's not a public trail, there won't be people parking there. If it is a public trail, then they'll have to park there. And that we understand that and we're okay with that. It's not allowing or not allowing. I probably used the wrong
So
terminology.
if there's not a trail there, are you gonna say people can't park there anyway?
No, they can, but why would they be there?
Yeah, there's.
The only reason
big
they'd
is
be there
no-
is if there's a trail.
There's
Well,
no,
it just kind of rubs me wrong. when
Yeah,
you
I
say
get what
it's
you're saying.
Our street
yeah,
when it's a public street.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but yeah. I
Well,
think that-
something like this, you need to be more specific
Okay.
regards to it.
Any other questions for Mr. McNabb?
No, I appreciate that. Seems like we have a shared value there of creating access and that's important. Thank you.
Yeah, I like the idea of the second trail. I'm not sure I dig that's part of the 12,000, but okay. Cause that's an easement, right? That's gonna be there anyway.
Well, it's more useful trade. Than
Yeah.
If you just took some land and it's still locked
Mhm.
and you trade out land, it doesn't
Mhm.
make as much sense as having these easements. It's way
Right.
weird. That's our viewpoint.
No, that's right. Okay, questions?
Nope.
Nope, okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. McNabb. Yep. All right, at this time, we're gonna open up the public comment portion of our hearing. Okay. We will close the public comment portion of our hearing. And we'll revert back to council. Can we have more discussion or can we get a motion?
I can make a motion to approve resolution number to approve resolution number 943, series 2026, resolution of the City Council of the City of Woodland Park, Colorado, approving the Haven at Paradise filing number 2, subdivision preliminary and final plats with the 4 conditions recommended by Planning Department.
Second.
Discussion, council. No, okay. Monica.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Monica, could you turn your mic on?
Sorry. Motion
Yeah,
passed.
thanks.
Okay.
This wasn't me.
All right, item 9C, ordinance number 1525. We are not QJ anymore. Okay. All right, I think before we hit that, we're gonna take another 5-minute recess, folks, so bear with us.
Hey.
Thank you, council. Let's get going again here. Item 9C.
You can.
Hang the hammer.
Crystal, okay.
Okay. Ordinance, I'm sorry, 9C, ordinance number 1525, series 2026, an ordinance of the city council for the city of Woodland Park, Colorado, imposing a temporary moratorium on the submission, acceptance, processing, and approval of applications for the establishment of data centers in the city. Mr. City Attorney.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This ordinance proposes an 18-month moratorium on processing applications for data centers in the city. Data centers are probably the most disfavored land use in America right now, along with hazardous waste incinerators. So, you know, these things, the whole country is trying to figure out what to do about this, and there are moratoria across the country and most municipalities. Well, we all try to figure out what to do about this. At our last meeting, we talked about a 24-month moratorium. We had a presentation at CML about the length of these moratoria. You had the easygoing attorney at your last meeting that agreed with 24 months, but 18 is safer. If we don't have our regulations written in 18 months, we can extend the moratorium.
Okay. That's good to know. Thank you, Jeff. Council, any discussion?
Well, I will say when I went to CML, I did attend two very interesting data center presentations on either side of the argument. And so there's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of different definitions of data centers, and we need to be really thoughtful in how we do this so that we don't create an ordinance that limits businesses like the city or Walmart or Safeway from having a server room. So that's where this one comes from for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
As this came up in our last meeting, and there was the article in the Courier about it. I'm on Facebook a little bit, and it seemed like there was a lot of concern and a little bit of confusion about what was going on. So if you don't mind, I'd just like to take 30 seconds and kind of clarify some things. The first is that there is no current proposal to build what most of us would understand to be a data center in Woodland Park. Nobody's put that forward to planning, to my knowledge. We're not considering it as council. And so there's not like an imminent thing happening that this is in reaction to, outside of the recognition by planning and the council that our code currently does not address this type of development. And I think it's prudent to take time and make sure that we have thoughtful regulation around this type of issue. And also to have the advantage of the work that is happening in so many communities and states that are putting together regulation and code. And so we'll have a lot of people doing the inventing of the wheel for us that we can look and say, hey, we like that one, and that seems right for our community before we have to make a choice. So really, this is out of kind of an abundance of caution and planning that we're putting this in place. We want to make sure that the code that comes out of this is legal and also right for our community and what our community desires to see in this town.
Thank you, Seth. Karen, can I ask you a question? I believe there was an inquiry that came into planning that
Yes.
kicked this off. Yeah. So there was.
Actually, it's coincidental.
Yeah. Okay.
We had somebody make an inquiry asking about this. since we've done a lot of work around the Unified Development Code, some of you guys may recall some of this as I talk about it, that our use table, we have very specific definitions. So every use listed has a clear definition to it. And if something's not listed in that table, it's considered prohibited. There is another section that talks about uses not identified or uses not itemized. So there is a process where if it's not listed, you can try and get it added to the table. So it's essentially a code amendment. And then you'll also recall in that chapter 4 where this table is, there's also supplementary use standards around a lot of things. An example is an accessory dwelling unit. There's requirements if somebody wants to do an ADU on their house that you need to meet those things also. So rather than, and so we have talked to somebody who's making a general inquiry, but it's not like I've got a formal application, a full application form, any of that in the office. It's still very much very preliminary in my mind. And so after we had that initial email set meeting, and it took us a while to actually be able to sit down face to face, we got an email from our city attorney's office where this magically appeared with a moratorium for a data center. I never contacted, I don't even think I spoke to Aaron about it or the city attorney's office. So it just showed up. And so I took that as a sign that perhaps we should get this on your agenda as soon as possible. So if these folks said, hey, no, I really want to do this, they had turned in an application for a use not itemized, it would still need to go through that process long before we would be actually permitting anything there. And so through this moratorium, you have that opportunity to think about this very thoughtfully, very deliberately. How do we define this use? Because there's all kinds of scope and scale. There's ones that are that I think people are really upset about that are like multiple football fields. And then there's these little micro things that are now showing up on the sides of houses. So it's a very much an evolving technology. So how do we define these different levels of things? What's right for Woodland Park? And then are there use standards that we want to associate with this? You probably hear things about noise levels. The other big one would be water consumption. So requiring closed loop water systems for cooling instead of an open evaporative kind of system is an example of a supplementary standard that could be applied. But to your point, that's a very long, deliberate, thoughtful process in terms of what's right for Woodland Park, where, if anywhere in the city, we want to be able to allow these to be cited. So hence the moratorium to give us the time to do that. So it was a long answer.
And I just wanted to clear that up because yeah, we had found that there was this inquiry and I was like, whoa, it's a little nutty that somebody's already thinking that. So, but it's a great thing. I absolutely echo what you have said, Seth, that it's time and we need to start taking a look at this. So and I guess for further clarification too, the moratorium stops any application coming in around that looks or smells like a data center, basically. Can't do it, right? So just want people to know that we're not promoting data centers by any means. We're actually saying we're not even going to consider the use of a data or anybody applying for a data center type use until we, as Mayor Pro Tem Nakai pointed out, until we figure out what that looks like. What does a data center look like? What is it? What kind of use are we talking about? And we don't want to exclude, as you pointed out, we don't want to exclude somebody's server room or networking at Walmart because they actually have, and Safeway probably does too, probably have some pretty substantial compute power in there. So that's the intent. Thank you. Council, any discussion on this resolution or no, ordinance, sorry.
Does the moratorium define, like, does it solve for the Safeway or the Walmart problem? Does it define what it?
It doesn't specifically, but we'll address that in the rulemaking and clarify all of that. So
In the moratorium?
Well, not in the moratorium, but
In the
during
actual ordinance.
We'll write rules that address that
Yeah.
and everything, other aspect of this.
But it wouldn't stop Walmart from adding 3 towers to their.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay. Monica, do we have any public comments?
We do. We have James Davis. Is he still here? Oh, he is?
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Oh, there
Yep.
he is. James Ifat.
Got you.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
James, if you can.
I'm the one you're talking about. My name is James Davis. I'm a 30-year Colorado resident, a graduate of Colorado Film School, and I'm a filmmaker. I run a film production studio, and we are wanting to develop a film production studio there in Woodland Park. And we are looking at building or developing a 10 to 15,000 square foot building, and about 2,500 feet of that building would basically be our server room. But for our equipment to run, we've got to have some of those advanced GPU chips, that's in a traditional server room. But under the strict definition of your proposed ordinance or moratorium, we do not fall under those restrictions because our total power use would be much less than 1 megawatt of power. Our water use would be with a closed loop system, which uses basically, it cools the chips with glycol and water. And it's a closed loop system, so it uses little to no water. So really the only water we would be using would be, to flush toilets. And, we want our facility to be able to host groups, large groups of people when we're filming. I mean, we'll have anywhere from 50 to 100 people there for filming. So we're looking at this as a community development project, a project for the state. This would be the first facility of its kind within the state of Colorado. So it's a very important thing for the state. I've been working with the Colorado Creative Industries Group in Denver on this for over a year. And they're behind this. They're actually are paying for 25% of this project through tax credits. So, the industry is changing very dramatically, and we're trying to change with it. And we're also going to be hiring 5 permanent employees. Some of them, Woodland Park residents. So, we're looking at this as a community project and something that'll be good for the community if you want it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Any other?
Yes, we also have Monica.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
If you can give us your full name and.
Yeah, I'm Monica Zanfis. I've lived in my house for almost 38 years, so I'm almost a local. I raised my daughters here. They're both environmental scientists. They went through the school system here and Manitou, got their master's degrees. And I've been talking to them about this, and I want to applaud you. And I think there has been a misunderstanding on the ordinance, and I want to applaud you for that. And I hope you go with it very, very strictly. None, zero. But anyway, I have been talking with them, and they go, Mom, I did 41 years of federal and state service. I've been retired for a number of years, so I understand some of the things you guys go through. It was public service. And, but they've encouraged me. I'm involved, doing volunteer work, music and all that in the community, singing at Forest Ridge and so on. But they said, Mommy, they call me, you need to speak up on this. And so they're giving me, they work for the state of Hawaii, and they work in the energy office. And also one of them was an analyst for the Public Utilities Commission. So even with Of course, we know the water thing because we have issues with water, water regeneration and all that by data centers. They still, my youngest daughter says, Mommy, she says, even with water regeneration, she says that there is 80% of energy of water lost. But now the sealed loop or the closed loop cooling systems, and I don't know enough, but they're telling me based on their research, and that's where you guys come in, with research. If you put a moratorium on this, good for all of it. So you find out. Uses electricity. And there's still a lot of electricity that is used, which would raise electric bills over time. And even with a traditional cooling. But anyway, but the big thing is now, oh no, we're going to use closed loop cooling systems. There are issues with that, and I'm not an expert on it, but my daughters are speaking through me. And, I've lived here for years. I love my community. I want to preserve the forest, and also issues of pollution, breathing in. There just isn't enough known. Now I'm seeing New York, which isn't Woodland Park. The state is talking about putting a moratorium until we can figure out what the heck's going on. I mean, this is like open season for developers and money, and it needs to be controlled. Like Boulder, other communities are doing something. So I applaud you for this. I just hope that you will stick to your no, nothing until more research is done and experts can be brought in, because even with the closed loop ones, there's still electricity used. So thank you very much for listening to me. I feel very strongly about this.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Crystal,
Yep.
could you come up to the podium here?
Oh. Yeah, if you could give us your first and last name and
Hi, Crystal Spock. I'm a Woodland Park resident, and I really came for the pickleball
oh, nice.
part, but I did look at the agenda, so I was looking at the wording for the temporary moratorium, and I was talking to Monica, I believe that's your name, and she said that the lawyer who spoke first, there is a law in place that you can only put a temporary moratorium on that until, I guess you want the moratorium until you can put in ordinances and the like. You explained that a little bit, but Louisiana went ahead with large data centers building in Houston, and I agree with the lady that went before me. So I wanted to know a little bit more about the temporary moratorium.
Yeah.
You're limited by the law, I take it. Is that true?
Go ahead, Jeff.
The law on moratoria is that they can't be a de facto prohibition masquerading as a moratorium. It has to be a good faith, temporary reduction in acceptance of applications while you develop a regulatory regime. And presently we're planning on doing that within 18 months. If something comes up and we're learning new stuff and it's too premature, we can extend the moratorium if necessary. But tonight's action is to put a stop to things till we can get some infrastructure in place. We're in charge of this instead of reacting all the time.
Because it would be a growth opportunity for people, for companies, until we figure it out. But thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? That's
Nope.
it? Okay.
That's it.
We've got a hand up. First and last name and place of residence would be great.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. My name is Steve Rowland. My wife and I, my wife Julia and I just moved 4 months ago. I wake up every day. Can't believe how blessed we are. I guess my question is, I feel like I've learned more in the last 10 minutes about this, so thank you. But my question to you as a group, is it possible that there's a company that comes in or some kind of situation comes in that the thing that we're all afraid of, the massive data center, maybe it's not as big as a football field. Is that something that would be seriously considered given who we are as a community and all the different concerns we have? Is that something just that would be considered, I guess?
I guess my response to that would be, I don't know. We're not in charge of the decisions the developers make. What we're just in charge, what we have control over is making sure our house is in order. So that when the application comes, we have reasonable standards that are legally defensible.
Okay,
I
that
hope
makes
that's
sense.
responsive.
No, that makes sense because just understanding that what you're trying to do is take a year or 18 months to put a structure in so that when companies do come, that we can address it the way we want to. Is that okay? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay. Monica, anybody else?
No.
Okay. All right. Council. Discussion?
I'm not sure I'm clear on whether whether the moratorium would stop Mr. Davis from his project.
The nature of the project. Excuse me.
Because
Okay.
the application has not come through the door. We cannot speak to
Yeah,
whether it would.
we don't know
qualify
the
or not.
particulars.
But
If somebody wants to file an application and in fact the moratorium really does preclude the processing of the application.
So we can't really even look at the application and
You
that.
could look at it and the applicant could come in and propose an amendment to the moratorium as an exclusion for their particular product.
Yeah.
So for the purposes of the moratorium, there is a definition of data center.
Yes.
One of the qualities is a standalone facility created for the sole or primary purpose of computing and/or data storage. Another is a facility that pretty much uses 1 megawatt of electricity or greater. Another one is for a facility created for the purpose of computing and/or data storage, which has a significant impact on water or wastewater resources. So there are some bounds around that. When listening to the first gentleman online, it seemed like he had read through those and said, you know, we're creating this 10,000 to 15,000 square foot facility. 2,500 square feet is going to be our server room. He said that, you know, our facility would not use more than a megawatt of power. He said that their facility would not be producing wastewater.
Yeah.
And, you know, it'd have that closed loop. So we do have a definition in place that does put structure around it. But if you've got a facility that has a server room or something like that, that doesn't mean it's de facto, you know, prohibited. There are other guidelines around that.
Thank you. Great. Appreciate it.
Okay. Any more discussion? Thank you for that, Seth, because I think a lot of people were asking that question internally. What is the definition? Any other discussion, council?
No, the only thing I would say is to be, hey, you know what? Out of sight, out of mind. Am I right? But no, is, you know, the thing that is not very well understood, and I can say, you know, before I got into this role, I'm not sure I really understood it, is a lot of the angst around things like this are because zoning has so much control over permitted use. The goal of this moratorium is to kind of cover us against the potential of a use that we had not considered. You know, I've seen a lot of the conversation in other communities around data centers that have been approved and so on and so forth. And they were approved because there wasn't anything in their code that prevented them from being approved. And so, you know, again, the goal of this is to give us some time to put a framework in place to do that very thing. At least speaking for myself, that's certainly my goal. But in the meantime, we can't get caught flat-footed. We have to go with whatever the rules are at the time of the application. So that's really the purpose of this for anyone who's listening or watching tonight, is really to give us this opportunity to to put that framework in place because nothing existed in our code that otherwise would have addressed it. So that just a little bit more clarity from my perspective.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay. Anyone else? All right, council, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Oh,
Oh,
go
go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Remote motion.
Yeah, now I just gotta find the right thing. Okay. I'll make a motion for the approval of ordinance 1525, series 2026 as read.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second, Monica.
Okay. Smith,
Yes.
Zellum,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Nakai,
Yes.
Bryant,
Yes.
Gear,
Yes.
and Lay.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Okay. All right, new business. Item 10A, approval of the city manager's contract for the year for the 2026-2027 year. All right. Council, any discussion?
Yes.
Good, I was getting worried.
We have had an incredible past year here at Woodland Park. We have made some significant investments in the future of the city, in line with the kind of charted course that we've been working on for a while here. The golf course purchase, well, it in itself being a phenomenal deal that was worked out, really almost unbelievable. I think it would be recognized by almost anybody who's gone out there and experienced the facility since the city has taken over, just what a turnaround. And that's no small undertaking. The purchase of the land for the expansion of Bergstrom Park will have a significant impact on the usability of really that side of 24. Parking's been a long kind of battle over there. There were very limited spots, and to create that kind of a welcoming area for not only residents to enjoy, but for visitors to be able to stop and explore our city, I think is a long-term investment. We have seen gains in virtually every measurable aspect of city government under your leadership, Aaron. And I, for one, am very grateful that you have really stepped into this role so well. I have a lot of confidence in the way that you administer the city and you run the staff. And I think you have done an exceptional job. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Seth. Anyone else? Well, I would say I think there was a number of things that Seth has pointed out, and I'll echo some of them, but operational excellence has been sort of the cornerstone of your tenure here, and it's hugely appreciated. It shows in everything, as Seth was pointing out, in Memorial Park. It shows in the land acquisitions, the appropriate land acquisitions, the debt-free land acquisitions that we've made, and the direction that we're heading is just, it's one of the reasons why I ran for mayor was to ensure, one of the ensurities along with all of us here that really have come up, is to ensure that proper direction. And I think, as we discussed, I think the next few years are really going to be operationalizing all of these aspirations that we have and turning these into great things. And I'm hugely appreciative that you're leading that. So thank you. And yeah.
So I'm the only one up here who's been here since you took this job. And like I said before, I've been appreciative of how you've grown into it. And I think, you know, not everybody agrees with you all the time, but I think you've done the best that you can for this community and our town. So I really appreciate that.
I know I'm new, but I'm not new to Woodland Park, and I would just, my interactions with you have been very positive, and I see the way you treat people and interact with people. It's really admirable. And when I am in the city, things just work they're just working. And that is a lot to do with you, and it's appreciated.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to hear.
Okay, council, what, we have, I think, a few things to button up with the contract. Yeah, that's on, because, yes. Let's get to a motion.
Okay, so I will make a motion to approve the city manager's contract for the period of June 2026 to June 2027 to include a 5% merit increase effective June 27th, 2026, a 3.1% COLA increase effective July. Well, this says July 1st, but July 1st, 2026, a year-end bonus of 4% for the end of December, and a one-time bonus of 8% to be paid immediately.
I'll second.
Oh,
You beat me, Jeff.
thank you, Jeff. So we have a motion and a second, Monica.
Okay, DeZellum,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Nakai,
Yes.
Bryant,
Yes.
Gear,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lay.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay,
Dinner's on air.
let's see. Item 10B. Resolution number 944, series 2026. A resolution of the city council of the city of Woodland Park, Colorado, adopting revised city council rules of procedure for 2026. Mr. Wilson.
Good evening again, council. As you'll recall, I had the plague at the council retreat. I want to thank council member Nakai for taking excellent notes. What you have here is a red line produced based on council member Nakai's notes and a few notes from Nina as well. Council member Nakai pointed out one additional matter in these rules. On page 3, we have a provision that you all talked about, what to do if somebody misses 3 regular meetings, and if they're unexcused, the violation of these rules may be subject to such council member to disciplinary action by a majority vote of the rest of the council. If the member accrues 4 absences within 12 months or 8 total absences with a 24-month period, the council may declare the seat vacant. Okay, that's fine. But if you go over, that's section D1 on page 3, but then you go over to section D2, it says, if any council member is absent for 3 successive meetings, the seat shall be declared vacant. Well, those two conflict, don't they? So smart Catherine over here noticed that. And so one of the suggestions is in the final version of these rules, I will delete that that's section D2 that conflicts. Okay. Otherwise, it's as proposed to you, members.
Yeah, as proposed with an amendment.
With that amendment.
Yep. Okay, council, any discussion? We all,
Well, I guess my only question would be, did I get any of the red lines wrong? No? No? Okay.
council, can I get a motion?
I would make a motion for the approval of resolution number 944, series 2026, a resolution of the city council of the city of Woodland Park, Colorado, adopting revised city council rules of procedure for 2026 as amended.
I'll second.
Yep, thank you. We have a motion and a second.
Okay.
You did.
Nakai,
Yes.
Bryant,
Yes.
Gear,
Yes.
Lay,
Yes.
Smith,
Yep.
DeZellem,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay. Good. We finally have our our rules and procedures. Got some rules. All right, reports. Oh, mayor's report. Let's see here. Okay, mayor's report. Community events, July 16th through August 6th. And I may have to add another one in here, but let's see, we're good. On Wednesday, July 22nd, the Ute Pass Cultural Center will have their free community concert featuring Boomtown String Band. That sounds pretty good. Show starts at 6 p.m. On Saturday, July 25th, the Teller County Fair kicks off at the Teller County Fairgrounds with Military Appreciation Night. Opening ceremony starts at 5 p.m. On Tuesday, August 4th at Memorial Park from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. is National Night Out. Join our local first responders and neighbors for a night of free food, games, activities, and more. And let's see, we talked about Peak Art Adventure. That starts July 20. I thought it was July 22nd, same day. So I'll just note that again for folks. That should be a fun event to see artists out and about painting our town. I did have the pleasure, the responsibility of attending the DDA event. I'll only talk on a few things, Aaron, if there's some other stuff that you want to pull up. It was the first event where we seated our two new DDA board members and a returning board member. Kelly, Linda, and Dave were reseated onto the DDA. We did approve the initial 165,000 or 167, whatever it was.
Yep, 165,000
Yeah.
for the initial engineering for Bergstrom Park. So
Yep.
very exciting.
Yes, very exciting. So some of that is now starting to come into motion. We also reviewed some of the micro grants. We finalized, I think, 2 of them, if I recall. But I think the fun thing, and we talk about this all the time, but we did have 40 grants come in at the end of the day, and they actually came in under budget a bit. We were thinking we were going to have to expand or do a supplemental, but that didn't happen. So we're excited about that. And I think if you look at it over time too, that was 200,000 and we did 150 before. So you got $350,000 of ish, because not all that 150 came in, but nonetheless, you've got $350,000 going into the downtown area for various projects and cleanup.
Yeah, 68 different projects. Pretty amazing.
Yeah. Very cool. Let's see, had the pleasure to attend the PPACG. That's for those who don't know, the Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments. A lot going on down there. I would just tell you, there's a lot happening with the Springs right now. A lot happening with our various cities that are, looking at different legislation, looking at impact of legislation. And of course, you've got what we all know has been happening here recently is the 911 authority with Colorado Springs pulling out of that. So all of that was discussed. I did have an interaction with CDOT that when they told me they were going to be done by July 4th, they came back and said, okay, end of July on 67. So it looks good now. It looks like they're one paving away. And I think that's it for me. I don't think we've had anything else. We did do, and I let the council know, we did have 2, I don't want to call them emergency meetings, but the county commissioners held 2 briefings, if you will. One about the 911 authority, where they had a media event, and then the other was about water and water shortages that are actually occurring in Teller County, unincorporated Teller County right now. So we do need rain. So if anybody knows how to generate some rain, please make that happen. Okay.
Shows up.
I'm good.
Yes, so I had just had a couple things. I would like to say thanks again to everybody that applied for the vacant seat. And to suggest again, one more time, that they look at applying to the other boards, Board of Review, Board of Adjustment, Planning Commission, And then as we said goodbye to Cindy Rumsey, we now have a vacant seat for an alternate on the UAC. And that is all I have.
I get to keep it pretty brief as well, but I'll echo what Catherine said. Really, we had an excellent group of applicants. I am very grateful for everyone who applied and put the time into interviewing and put themselves out there. I hope to see all of you continue to seek involvement in our community. Our community is the better because of people who put themselves out there. Neither Keep Woodland Park Beautiful nor the Youth Advisory Committee ended up having a meeting in July. So I will just remind everyone that we do have the Community Canvas project happening through Keep Woodland Park Beautiful. It's an opportunity for local artists to do some community beautification. We are painting the bear-proof waste receptacles in Memorial Park. So you get to add, really a piece of how you view Woodland Park or a community into a public space. Along with that, which is a program open to applicants aged 10 years and up, but artists selected for the project will receive a $150 stipend, oil and acrylic paint supplies, recognition through city publications, social media and digital communications, and the opportunity again to contribute towards a permanent public art initiative. If you're interested in applying for the Community Canvas project, you can go to the woodlandpark.gov website, click on government, click on committees and boards, commissions, and committees, then Keep Woodland Park Beautiful, and there's a link on the side that says Community Canvas Project. There's also links that are going to be all over Facebook and all of that Kristen's been putting up. But that's what I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gear.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what has already been said about the applicants tonight for the open seat. This was by no means a easy or simple decision, so I really want to appreciate all that applied. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to report from HPC. Due to some QJ items, I have not been able to attend recently. Otherwise, I don't have anything else to add. Actually, I got one more thing. I'm sorry. For that's for HPC. We're working on refreshing the mural on the cultural center. The painting is almost done, and they hope to have a rededication when that is complete. So that is all I have.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I did forget one thing. Okay. I wanted to seek council's consensus on an issue. As you know, we've been in a stage 2 fire ban for a while, and I've seen a lot of retailers kind of doing the conscientious thing and pulling firewood out for sale. But I also know some retailers have not made that choice. And I've seen a number of posts through the Teller County Sheriff and also just by driving up through Rampart and distributed camping up there, that there are fires that are being placed in fire pits, and they've come up on many smoldering fires and things like that. And I was wondering if council would find it appropriate to have our city attorney draft an ordinance prohibiting the sale of firewood during a stage 2 or 3 fire ban. More specifically from the months of May through September, which is really kind of our core fire danger season. So I was just wondering what council's thoughts were on that.
Stage 2.
Sorry, that was hard to hear, Seth. What are you asking for consensus on, bud?
I'm sorry. I thought I had my mic on. I apparently did not.
You did, but you were far. So sorry. Say it again.
I'm asking council if they'd be interested in considering directing the attorney to develop an ordinance or ordinance language for a prohibition on the sale of firewood during a stage 2 or 3 fire ban during the months of May through September.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it, Seth.
So the only thing I would say is, and George reminded me because I forgot, but this was brought up a couple months ago at the Teller County GOP meeting. And there are people that for whatever reason can't afford to buy a whole cord of wood or half cord of wood, and they buy that wood to heat their homes. So doing that might make it a little more difficult for people to, I mean, I like the idea, don't get me wrong, but people still have to.
You know, I like where, like Aaron and I have talked about this, where Walmart has moved their firewood
All my
not
wood's up in the steel in the back room.
in the back but they still sell it. But they interrogate you. Yeah, don't they?
No,
Oh, they're not selling it?
it's all up in the steel. It's been.
Oh,
that
it's
way
up,
for 2
up.
months.
Okay. I thought they were still selling it, but kind
No.
of like interrogating. I mean, one of the things we have talked about before is like passing out placards that people can, stores can post if they want, just to say, you can buy the wood, but you can't burn it. Can't burn it outdoors. You can burn it to heat your home or whatever, but you can't use it out in the woods. It's, it's.
Yeah, I don't know if that does any good.
Maybe if we look at an ordinance, we determine, like, if you're buying, a quarter or more for household heating, that's permitted. Or a quarter of a quarter, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Quarter of a quarter.
Anything else.
Prohibiting sale except for home heating.
Right, exactly.
But how would you know? Yeah.
Well,
If you go to, here's the
know
thing.
by the amount, because guy coming up here for the weekend to camp is not gonna buy a quart of wood.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
so
but
you're-
people who are buying wood to heat their house, they're going to be getting it from like a local provider. They're probably not going to be getting it from a retail establishment.
Oddly enough, to the gentleman who does this for a living up in Teller County, he says no. They go
Oh,
to,
okay.
they go to Walmart, they go to Safeway. They
Huh.
buy the wood, so I don't know, for heating their house.
It's an
yeah.
expensive wood.
So I mean, but I'm not opposed to maybe having a work session to discuss it.
I mean,
Yeah, I think at a minimum we should at least talk about it because
Yeah.
the drought issue isn't going anywhere, regardless of if it rains next week or the week after that. And we already have enough reports from TCSO about illegal campfires in the forest as it is, despite all the signage. So I think that if there's an avenue we can take, we should certainly explore it. But I think we need a work session to really kind of talk that out.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. If you're okay with that, Seth, let's have the discussion. One of the concerns is when you go to stage 3, then it's no propane. So now what? What are we saying to stores? It's just kind of that snowball effect of,
We could probably have to do the same thing like Jeff suggested. Propane is for home use only. I mean, you can still fill a huge propane tank to heat your house.
Yeah.
Right? It's just you
regular.
can't do propane gas grill.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but I think it's worth a discussion. We
yeah,
don't-
it's worth let's debate it.
Yeah, a work session would be
Yeah,
great.
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, everybody agree? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get on the agenda. And with our new rules and procedures, we can have a work session midstream too, so. Okay.
Good.
Thank you, Seth. You want to wait or do you have things?
I don't have a report.
Okay, yeah. You didn't, okay.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Okay, I'll get over mine real quick here. For Park and Rec, we had a cleanup at Meadowwood Sports Park, went well. They sanded some benches, they sanded and stained some picnic benches, cleaned out the dugouts, picked up all the debris around the fields, weeded steps leading up to the fields and swept walkways. Basketball courts were relined at the Meadowwood or Memorial Park and Crestwood Park. New outfield fence installed at the Red Field. The Aquatic Center hosted the first of 3 swim meets. Very nice feedback from teams and coaches and spectators. Also hosted 9 birthday parties. Cultural Center hosted 18 events. Outdoor memorial. Outdoor mural restoration almost complete. Also, it received a new dishwasher and installed. Golf course. Ordered, assembled, and installed new furniture at the golf course on the deck. New upgrade for the community. Behind building cleanup, wood debris removed, scrap metal hauled off, new tired Says new tires put on the cart, driving range, net fixed with help of Core. And Eli doing an amazing job with the fairways, greens, irrigation systems, and course upkeep.
Yeah, let me just echo that. So Core Electric offered to come out and fix all the netting around the driving range. And so these guys are experts at cherry pickers and high wire stuff. And Aaron, how long did it take? 2 days? Okay, it was pretty quick though. And so the nets look great. They did a great job, and they did it as a gift. So it was a fantastic thing.
Which saved a lot of money because that would have cost a lot.
Yep.
Yes, we are tremendously thankful to Core.
Yep. Mr. DeZello.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank all the people that applied again. Having done this many times in the past, I understand how you felt, and it was kind of a different feeling to be up here this time making a decision on it. But thank you, and keep on persevering. Yeah. The Main Street Committee met the first Monday of the month. Those guys start like at 5 minutes to 10. If you get there at 10 when it's supposed to start, they're halfway over. So I have learned some lessons there. But we discussed some ideas on how to help promote the local businesses, tying in with Victor and Cripple Creek's main streets. And we also talked about a business size card that has what Main Street is on it, so that when we go to businesses downtown, we can present them that card and help use that to get buy-in for them to join us. So that's all I have for this week or time, and hopefully I'll have a better report next month because I will be there 15 minutes early.
I will say, Don, I don't recall if you were there. Did you make it to the Victor Cripple Creek?
No.
Okay. So we did host Victor and Cripple Creek here this time. It rotates every time. It was a good meeting. I think they were actually starting, excuse me, we're starting to drive towards some goals between the three organizations. And so that, yeah, it'll be an interesting thing and something I'm pretty fond of, to see us, really partner with them on the main streets.
Yeah, I think it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Also at CLM, I was talking to
What's her name?
yeah, it was either a council person from Victor or the mayor. He was a
Barbara?
council person.
Okay.
And they're looking at starting a citizens academy.
Oh, good.
Or maybe it was Cripple Creek. It was one of those two.
Okay.
But I told them that, they needed any help to get a hold of us, and I'm sure either Kristen or I would be very happy to help them with it. So
Perfect.
Also, real quick, don't forget the Pike Speaker Bus Rodeo.
Right on.
We're going.
All right. Wow.
Yeah, Jeff's
City
the
manager.
clown.
Oh, goodness. All right. I do want to remind the community we have the concert at the course tomorrow night from 6 to 8 p.m. That's at Shining Mountain Golf Course. It's going to be the first outdoor concert we're doing out there. We're also doing trivia nights every Tuesday night for the rest of the summer. So we're trying to do some fun things out at the course in addition to all of the other awesome things that are happening out there. When we look at traffic and construction throughout the city, it looks like the Highway 67 project is going to actually come to an end at some point. If you look at the forecast for next week, it says final paving and striping is in the forecast there. So we should be very close in terms of that project being done. As far as the city projects, we have quite a bit. Our on-call concrete and asphalt is starting, so you're going to see road closures and intermittent delays there because of that. But we are working all over the city here. We have A1 Chip Seal. They're going to be doing Valley View next week, as well as Evergreen Heights and parking lots And then Pyramid's going to be working on Fairview, and Thunder Ridge concrete work is done. They're going to be starting to do paver removals. So just be on the lookout there. We apologize for the inconvenience, but a lot of work is getting done. That's all I have. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. Okay. With that, we are adjourned.
Night all.